And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being there, hanging out with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Make your way over to Great Lakes Honda City today. Let them know that DT sent you. And, of course, they're open Monday through Saturday for sales and service, and they're 24/7 on GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Happy to be with you up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. It's a Monday, so you know Murphalation Station's here with us. We are inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics for the day. Murph is joining me to talk about the college football playoff and the NFL playoff picture. It's all about the postseason for college and pro, and I got a couple surprises. So with that being said, let's bring the man in here on the show on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We call it DT and Murphy. Murph, how we doing?
Doing good, my friend. We got a fantasy championship that we're playing for, and it all comes down to tonight. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm happy that one of us gets to play in the championship. I do not. So I got the number one seed in the Florida League, which is extremely difficult to play in, and we didn't win. So I was very sad. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll be all right. But you know, it's definitely it's tough. I have you can see on the screen here. You can see right over my shoulder with my giant Corbin Carroll card. There it is. That there's my 3 fantasy football trophies. But it's been a minute. I think.
I think you owe me one too.
Oh, I already have them made, Murph. We're ready here. I think I made yours. I think I did. If not, you'll get it when I see you, hopefully. But I think my last one was 2022 or 3, so it's been a little bit of a minute, and I'm hungry for another one. I hope you get one today. I have some news I'm going to share. I'm going to share this one first. So Josh Gideon, the owner of GG Cards and Breaks, is a fantastic human. We all know that. And he got me some stuff for Christmas and the holiday season. He celebrates Hanukkah, so thank you to Josh. And he got me this. My mom goes, open this first. It was under my tree. It was wrapped, and it was like this circular thing. And she goes, just open that. That's from Josh. And so Josh gave this. When my mom went in to go get something for me at GG Cards and Breaks, my Josh ended up handing her something and saying, I want him to have this from me specifically. So we're going to open this today. We're going to end the show with a ornament break. And so it's not an
Sure.
actual ornament, but it is pretty cool. It's Major League Baseball 2025 Topps exclusive holiday lights parallels, and it comes in what looks like a giant Christmas ornament, but when you open it up, because all I did was take the plastic off, I didn't actually look and see anything in there. The cards come like kind
Oh,
of
that's cool.
sitting in this plastic thing. So I don't know what to expect, but it's 2025 Topps, and it's from Josh Gideon. So we're going to do a little box break, an ornament break from GG Cards and Breaks. I thought it would be cool to do something different of a box break, so we're going to be doing that today. And your boy's heading on the road this week for another wonderful opportunity. I want to thank God for this, and I want to thank everybody at the college football playoff. I want to thank the bowl season. I will be heading on the road, and I will be going to the Cotton Bowl, which is this Wednesday, my dad's birthday on New Year's Eve. I'll be there for Ohio State and Miami. I will be
Nice.
flying the next day. So after that night, I will be flying that next morning to get to the game on time. I will be in Miami for the Orange Bowl to watch Texas Tech and Oregon. Then I will be at the Peach Bowl in the semifinals at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. That'll be on January 9th, and that'll be the upper part of the bracket. So could be Oregon, could be Texas Tech, could be Indiana, could be Alabama. Somebody's going to make it within that. And then after that, I received an email on Friday, this past Friday, that there's been 2 years of the 12-team college football playoff. I got to be there for the historic 12-team unveiling, and I got to be one of like maybe 300 media in the whole world that was credentialed for the end. And I got my email that 2 years of the 12 team, 2 years in a row, two blessings from God. I will be credentialed and on site back in Miami at the national championship.
Sweet. That's awesome. I know how much you like. I know how much you enjoyed that last year, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited because I got to go like on the field, and so we get to go on the field pre, and we get to go on the field post, and I got to be on the field for everything that was going on. I was right underneath the stage. I took some of the confetti home. I always take confetti from events, and so I was there for that. I was like, it was crazy because all the pictures you see on in like newspapers and all that stuff, like I was there while they're doing it, and
Yeah.
it was really a wild experience, and it was a lot of fun. And I was really happy for Ohio State. It was funny because some people that don't, when you and I have talked about this, that like don't understand that we take a national approach and we're looking at things nationally and trying to break them down, and we're not simply looking at just one conference or one team and whatnot. And so it was like maybe one person that said this. It wasn't whatever, but it was like, you can't, how can you celebrate Ohio State when you've been against them all year? And I was like, I'm not against Ohio State. I'm like, I never said they weren't talented, never said they weren't good, never said they can't win. I just said that they got an unfair ranking in the polls, which is not the team's fault. I mean, they got to go out and play the game. So I was super happy. Will Howard talked about God, and I loved that. And that was it was my favorite part of the college football playoff. Is I know my guy Riley Leonard is someone who doesn't hide God, and so I was happy to see that. But there was so many other instances of it being around Quinn Ewers, and to be around Barron from Texas, and to Will Howard of Ohio State, hear from some of the coaches. It was just a really, really awesome experience. And then to go to the national championship press conference, that was wild. And at the end of the press conference, after I had interviewed Ryan Day and Marcus Freeman, I went up to the stage, and the media is like, whatever, walking around doing their things and stuff. And I went up and I took pictures, like close up pictures of the helmets, and I touched the helmets. And this one guy looked at me and yeah, he's like, we're here, we might as well, right? I go, dude, I'm in front, I'm touching the helmet. Like, I'm not gonna not touch the helmet. And it was cool because the Notre Dame helmet, when you get up really close to it, it looks like glitter, and it feels like that. And so it's got like a really interesting feel to it. And then, of course, Ohio State has, the stickers that they put on theirs. So all I can say is, to whoever wins, I'm already going to congratulate you, because it's an awesome experience, and I hope you all have fun. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how to describe it other than it's like you just feel like a big kid the whole time. And it's a lot of fun. It's definitely great. But being on the field pre and being on the field post is really cool because I could shoot video and whatnot. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I can't wait. So I'm Dallas, Miami, Atlanta, Miami. So it'll
With
be
trips home in between.
yeah, and the Orange Bowl is back. I think I did the Orange Bowl years ago, and I think it was when I was living in Florida and working at ESPN Radio. So I haven't been to the Orange Bowl in a really long time, and I got to meet and interview and put on my show Eric Palms. You can watch him on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage. He's one of the featured interviews there. So definitely check that out. You can watch Scotty Rogers from the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, and you can also watch Gary Stokan, who I've known forever, and he's wonderful, as is Scotty. You can watch Gary, president and CEO of Peach Bowl Inc., that oversees the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. So there's a lot of great, and I interviewed the executive director of Bowl Season, who oversees
You did. Yeah.
the 42 opportunities that are out there. So, and they include, and people may not know this, the bowls that are within the college football playoff are included in the membership of Bowl Season. They pay their dues like everybody else. And so he's very much in connection with all of it. And that was a really good conversation. He did not mince words about Notre Dame and how he feels about people opting out or institutions opting out. And we talked about a lot of big picture stuff. So definitely go check that out. They're all on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage. But a lot of good stuff here, Murph. I know it's a long intro, but I don't have words. I I'm searching for them while I'm saying them because it's just a really cool big kid experience. So I think what I'll definitely have to do is I'll have to Instagram live you and we'll have to do a DT and Murphy on the sideline or something like that.
We might have to. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So, well, because the national championship is on a Monday.
Eh,
So,
eh, I'm not opposed.
yeah. With that being said, we are here to talk about a lot of things playoff related here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of these Great Lakes Honda City studios. The college football playoff is heading to the quarterfinal round, and we will see this week who is going to be moving forward as we look at the official bracket. We're going to go ahead and advance Alabama here so you could see them. We're going to advance Oregon. We're going to advance Ole Miss, and this is all from the first round, and we're going to advance Miami, which brings us to where we are here, as we know that Alabama will play Indiana. We'll have Oregon and Texas Tech, which is one of the games I will be at. We'll have Miami and Ohio State, which I'll also be at, and we have Georgia, Ole Miss. The irony, Murph, is that I will be in Texas to watch Miami, then I'll be in Miami to watch Texas Tech. So it's a very strange kind of thing that's going to be going. I'm going to be like, wait, are you, am I, did we? But it'll be fun. So looking at the bracket right now, knowing that these are the games that we have here for the quarterfinal round, just what your thoughts are about the final 8 teams.
Yeah, I think as we talked about last week, the bracket corrected itself. I don't think Texas A&M was a team that was worthy of being in the quarterfinal. I never thought they had a chance to beat Miami. Great game. Miami came out on top as we expected. JMU Tulane we talked about. Neither one of them had a chance. And they got blown out. JMU made it interesting at the end that, Oregon had basically just taken their foot off the gas, so they scored a bunch of points late and, technically covered the spread. So I feel bad for anybody that bet Oregon to cover because I would have, but I didn't. Thank God. But I think the bracket corrected itself. Outside of Alabama, I did not think Alabama was going to beat Oklahoma. Having lost head to head already and being on the road, I didn't think they were going to win. They've looked terrible over the last few weeks, and they did. So I give them credit for that one. But looking at what we got, I think we got 4 really good games. I think the best game is probably going to be Miami Ohio State. Personally, I think that one's going to be that one is in the Cotton Bowl, right? That's the one you'll be at.
Yeah, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl
So
Classic. So that's December 31st. It's 6:30 p.m. their time. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern for that one.
okay. Yeah, that'll be a fun one to watch. I'm looking forward to that one. I think the other one that I'm really interested in is Indiana Miami. I'm sorry, Indiana Alabama.
Murph just really wants to watch
Yep.
at Miami. He's just going to keep saying Miami.
Yes. Indiana versus Miami national championship, folks. You heard it here first.
There you go.
No, but I think Indiana Alabama is going to be a really interesting game because this is going to be outside of Ohio State the first real test that Indiana has had, and they passed the first test with flying colors
Yeah.
against Ohio State.
Yeah.
Granted, they were helped along by a missed field goal, but this is going to be, beating Ohio State is one thing in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Beating the big bad Alabama Crimson Tide in the playoffs
That would say something.
that would say a lot,
Yeah.
especially if they handle their business and beat them handily.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that they're going to blow them out,
Yeah.
but if they beat them by 10, you beat that team by 10, that says a lot about what that team is because I very much would expect, and an Indiana Oregon rematch in the semifinals if they were to beat Alabama. Because personally, I don't see Texas Tech beating Oregon, and that's just my personal opinion. It could easily happen, but Indiana's already beaten Oregon
Yeah.
in Eugene. They beat them on the road.
Yeah,
Imagine what
that
it's
was
going
a
to
big
be in the
win for them.
semifinal.
That was that Oregon win, that Iowa win before the Ohio State win. Those were the two ones, but it made me kind of sit here and say to myself, okay, so you have those, but like what, you haven't beaten a big bad wolf. And then I was like, hey, if they win out, which I thought they would based on their schedule, I said, okay, Indiana wins out, you're playing Ohio State. That's a massive win if you can get it. And I will tell
Mm-hmm.
you this, Murph, and my dad can attest to this, from because we were down in Florida watching that game from the jump, like from the first few seconds of that game. I said to my dad, I was like, dude, Mendoza's good. Like, I really like watching him. And I was just watching the team and
And
just
he's going to be a Raider.
total team. It might be. And I was like, total team effort, just everything I was seeing. I was like,
Feel bad for him.
all right, Indiana, it might be a Jet.
No,
So,
he's going to be a Raider. If the
so
Raiders get number one, they're not trading it. They'll
well,
sit. They'll sit there and they'll take Mendoza
one. What is it now? So yesterday, as of
because
yeah, hold on, let me do
because
this
the
as of
Giants won that game. They won the
yeah,
Tank Bowl
right,
or lost the Tank Bowl.
yeah. Because if we look at the NFL updated draft order, because there's a bunch of teams that were not in. I mean, they were in good place to get a
Yeah.
number one pick, but as we look at this right now, let's see.
Thank you, Cleveland Browns, for winning that football game.
Yeah, so the
Because now
first,
the Jets are picking third.
yeah, so we have. Let's go here. It's the Raiders are one. This is really funny because, like you said, it was the Tank Bowl because whoever won that game lost the number one pick. So if you won, you
Yeah.
lost. So the Raiders got the number one pick right now. The
I mean, the
Giants,
Giants, I think, can
yeah,
still get it, but
yeah.
very, very slim chance.
Giants have the number two pick. They came into yesterday with the number one pick. The Jets have the three. The Titans have the four. The Cardinals have the five. And the Browns have the six. Washington, just full of injuries this year, they have the seven. And then eighth pick goes to the Saints. Ninth pick goes to the Chiefs. That was their season.
How about that?
Cincinnati has the
The
10th pick.
Chiefs might be picking in the top 10.
Yeah, well, and here's
Who
a
had
crazy.
that on your bingo card?
How about this? How about a team that is right there in the NFC West with Seattle, fighting to have the right to have home field advantage and to sit at home in the first round and all that. The Rams have the 11th pick. They're just outside of the top 10, and people say, how did they get it? They got it from Atlanta. So they actually have the 11th pick. The Dolphins have the 12. Then it's the Bucks, the Cowboys, the Lions, who tanked this. They just fell this season. I shouldn't say tanked. They just kind of imploded. And so they're
Yeah.
the 15th pick. Then you have the Ravens, the Vikings, the Jets again at pick 18. Then you have the
Thank you, Colts.
yeah, they have the
Thank you,
Panthers.
Darren Muji, for fleecing them for Sauce Gardner,
There you go. Then you have Carolina. Then you have the
who
top
got hurt
20.
again this week, by the way.
Who did
After
Sauce?
missing like the last 4 games, he just got hurt again.
Yeah, so I mean, those are the things that work out when you have these picks and whatnot. The opportunity, and the Jets have a bunch of first rounder and early round picks for the next bunch of years. So
5 in the next 2 years.
that's crazy. So the Jets have the third right
Joe
now
Burrow.
and the 18th. Then Carolina, top 20s rounded out by Pitt, who could still make the playoffs. Then we have Dallas, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Bills, as it stacks up right now, the Bears, the Texans, the Rams again. Then we have the Browns again. And then the Niners, the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Seahawks. So the Jaguars do not have a pick in the first round. That's something to look at. But yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, the prediction, and obviously there's going to be different predictions, and I always do my mock draft of the whole first round, all 32 teams. Last year I did it laying in my bed in the middle of the night from Italy While Murph was texting me going, bro, are you up right now? They just traded up. And I was up. And I got a bunch of like calls and texts and messages and all this stuff. And it's like, and Murph was the one that he was like, what are you guys going to do? Who are you going to get? What are you thinking? And I said to people, I'm like, for those of you that, you know, I don't really want to get into it, but the Jaguars organization has changed over time. It's not that I don't want to get into it. It's just, you know, God always rights all things. And I believe that'll be righted at some point in my life if it's meant to be. I will just say that if I didn't cover the Jaguars as closely as I do, why was I getting messages at 2, 3 a.m., 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, Italy time, of people going, bro, what are you going to do? What's going to happen? What do you think? Do you like the pick? And Murph literally messaged me, and he's like, you traded up. Who are you getting? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so it was really cool to kind of feel like I was in the draft room, even though I was out in Italy. So I appreciate Murph.
Well, at least once they made the pick, you could just go to sleep.
I did. I told you, you were like, are you awake? I said, I'm awake until this is done. Like, I'm awake until the pick is in. But I've done the mock draft year in and year out. We typically do it at Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. We do it with Al Romano, who's a national champion with the Pitt Panthers. We also, and he played with Tony Dorsett. And we also have Cookie there, who's the head of the Beeville Backers and the Beeville Bills backers, pardon me on that. So he is the Pizza Man is a proud Buffalo Bills supporting bar and restaurant. And so he is the president of that. So Cook he's just like an encyclopedia of info. So him and Al and I typically do it, but I was in Italy this year, but I wanted to keep it going. So I will be doing my mock draft this year after the season and getting closer and watching film and all that and getting myself ingrained in it. But as of right now, at the mock that I'm looking at, we have Fernando Mendoza of Indiana going to the Raiders. We have Arvell Reese, linebacker of Ohio State, going to the Giants, because why would they ever need to draft an offensive lineman? They just keep going through quarterbacks, but they don't need anyone to protect them. If I were them, I'd be drafting offensive line. And then we have the Jets taking Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. Interesting.
I liked him in the Penn State game. That's the one and only full game I've really watched him play this year. So, I mean,
you don't want to stay with Justin Fields, my dude.
That ship has sailed, man. He refused. He doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
He don't want to play. So why would I want Justin Fields at this point? But real quick, because I know we're about to go back into the subject of college football.
Yeah.
How about Penn State blowing out Clemson in their bowl game?
How about there's a couple things that I need to say about this. One, congratulations to Penn State, and shout out to your interim head coach, and shout out to that story, which really helped Penn State end with a lot of positivity and a lot of goodness around the program. Two, shout out to the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, which used to be the New Era Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. I've experienced it 3 times, and I love it, and I appreciate it. So I want to shout them all out, and I want to shout out the New York Yankees and everything that they do to make that happen, and it's a really, really cool experience. And third, and very important, shout out to somebody that I supported 2 years before I really heard anybody talking about him. I liked him. I wanted to see him succeed. I had belief in him. Then he came out and had a fantastic season for Syracuse. There were some things said about him publicly. The validity of those is up in question. He goes to Penn State. And my dog went buck wild in that game. 5 catches, 100 yards. Bro went to work in his final college game ever. I just want to tell you the final stat line, and I want to make sure that I have every single piece of this because dude balled out. This is the stat line that he had against Clemson in the 22-10 victory. 5 catches, 100 yards, a touchdown. The longest catch, 73 yards in the game in this Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Shout out to the one, the only Trevor Pena who played for Syracuse, transferred to Penn State. There was a lot of stuff out there of people speaking for him, which I can't stand. I've gotten to know him over the years. I've supported him, like I said. I just saw something earlier before he was getting on the field. I didn't think he was simply just a return person. I thought he could be a receiver out there. I like his family. Davina, his mom, I messaged her yesterday. I messaged him going into his game over the weekend, and I messaged her, and I think we messaged it. I think she got back to me after the game. So I just want to say to Trevor Pena and his family, shout out to you all for balling out. I don't care if Syracuse fans are mad at me for saying this, because the reality of it all is you don't support a kid until they're not of use to you anymore. How would you like that if that's how your child was treated? How would you like that if the college coach that your kid had, once that kid transferred colleges, went out and smeared him, disrespected him, pushed him down, acted like he was never there? How would you feel if it was your child? So what I'll say about Trevor Pena is, dude works hard, he got after it, and he arguably had the best game of his entire career in the last game of his collegiate career. So I just want to give a lot of love. I'm happy you brought it up, which gave me the opportunity to very proudly say, Trevor Pena, to everybody that thought you couldn't, dang it if you didn't show them in the exclamation point of your time at Penn State. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's heck of a game for the kid, man. And I mean, I wasn't expecting Penn State to win that game. I'm sitting there at the Brotherly Love Card Show over the weekend, and I see that I pop up that their bowl game's on. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I get the notifications for Penn State from ESPN, so I'm following the game, and they're winning, and they're winning, and they're winning. I'm like, how? Like how are they winning this game? Like seriously, they haven't beaten anybody this year. How how are they winning this game? And then sure enough, they end up basically blowing them out, and I'm like, who would have thought that?
Yeah. And Trevor Pena, MVP of the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. So not only did he have that awesome performance and finish with an exclamation point, but he also finished with an MVP trophy. So shout out to Trevor. Much love to Davina and the whole family, the Pena family. It's crazy to think that it was a little over a year ago that I was around his family out in San Diego in California at the Snapdragon Stadium for, at the time, the DirecTV Holiday Bowl when he was
Is that
playing,
what that stadium's called
when
now?
he was playing for Syracuse. The stadium out in San Diego, Snapdragon, which is, and so
Oh man,
this
I
is
miss
how,
Qual. I miss me when it was called Qualcomm Stadium when the Chargers were playing there
but the
back in the good
crazy,
old days.
this is the crazy thing though about God and just how my life is. My favorite flower is the Snapdragon. I go across the country
I had
to see
no
my
idea that was a
hometown.
flower.
Yeah, I go across the country to see my hometown team play. And where do they play? At a stadium named after my favorite flower, Snapdragon Stadium. So, and that's where San Diego State plays. So, shout out to them. Much love. Shout out to Trevor. Murph and I are going to come back after this fast break. We're going to talk about the Final Four. And I'm going to let you just kind of marinate in this for a second while we take a step aside. This is your schedule. So I'm going to give you some time while we're on this fast break to make sure that you put this together in your scheduling. Okay? Make sure that you have this all set and ready to go. This is how the schedule is going to be. On December 31st, there will be one game. That is the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. That game will be Ohio State, the 2 seed, against Miami, the 10 seed. That game is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN from Arlington, Texas. So make sure you're watching that. Then on January 1st, a holiday, so I will be off that day on Wake Up Call. So there will be no live broadcast that morning, but of course I will be at the Capital One Orange Bowl by the grace of God. And so on January 1st, there is a trio of games that begins with the Capital One Orange Bowl. Number 4 seeded Texas Tech against number 5 seeded Oregon. That game is January 1st at noon Eastern Time on ESPN. The Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential will see number 1 seeded Indiana play against number 9 seeded Alabama. That game, January 1st, is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. And we will round out the quarterfinal round of the college football playoff at the All-State Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans, Louisiana, as 3-seeded Georgia takes on 6-seeded Ole Miss. So we'll be in a place that knows the SEC all too well with 2 teams that obviously know each other. That game will be on January 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. So 1 game on New Year's Eve, 3 games on New Year's Day, and plenty of reason to call into work if your boss tries to force you to work on January 1st. We'll take a step aside and we'll be back right after this. By the way, I don't want to promote staying out of work. I promote you watching the college football playoff and the NCAA tournament. What I don't promote is going to places where they don't have enough staff, which has been an issue that came from a very clear place that if people refuse to see it, we all know how it started. We all know that we're trying to fix it, but people don't care unless you go to the restaurant and there's 12 tables open and you're like, why can't I sit down? Why am I on a 30-minute wait? Well, we don't have enough staff for that section. Well, how come the movie theater line is so long? Because there's only one person working the box office. Well, how come I couldn't get on my plane today? Well, we didn't have enough TSA agents. So that whole stay at home, get money, don't work, the whole like promote people for doing nothing, and the ripple effect of what I saw many years ago of happening, and Murph as well. Well, that's what's going on now, folks. The long lines and the poor customer service, that is a symptom of a problem that we created. We need to fix it. We're trying to, but it doesn't happen overnight. There's this crazy thing called, if you want money, you should work for it. I know it's insane, but it's also a necessity in life. You don't just get stuff. You have to work to earn. That's how it's supposed to be. And I'm kind of sick of those long lines and walking into a restaurant and seeing an entire room that they can't use because those 4 people just decided, nope, I'm going to sit home today. So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I know that had nothing to do with sports, but it also has everything to do with sports because it can affect sporting events. And Murph knows why I said it, because we feel each other on that. We understand that world. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We'll be back right after this, talking about the college football playoff. And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, and you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different, and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to work every day and get after it every day. And when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and then those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Happy to be here with you inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. For sales and service, go and see them Monday through Saturday. And, of course, you can see them all the time on GreatLakesHondaCity.com. So, we are in the quarterfinal round of the college football playoff. We have also had some recent bowl games. Murph and I talked about the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. So I got to think about it. So it's, Bad Boy.
In my head, it's just the Pinstripe Bowl.
Well, the crazy thing about it is it's like, it's Bad Boy, and people are like, did he? And you're like, no. They're mowers. It's mowing. It's not. It's different. It's not the same. So, but.
Well, it still doesn't compare to my favorite bowl game,
which is
the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Well, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, I thought you were going to say that your favorite bowl was the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, brought to you by Gin
Did
and
you
Juice.
see him try to catch the kickoff?
Yeah, brought to you by Gin and Juice, Murph. Why is that not a penalty too? Like nobody's
I
supposed.
don't know.
How is that not?
Who
a
are they going to
penalty?
penalize?
Right, but I'm like, if the ball, you know what I mean? You're not supposed to interfere with the game. So
I mean, who are they going to penalize? The guy who's literally paying to host the game?
yeah, he's like, I can do whatever I want. So let's
Like,
take
I'm
it.
Snoop Dogg. I do whatever I want. But no, for me,
Yeah.
it'll always be the Pop-Tarts Bowl. As a lifelong Pop-Tarts for breakfast guy, it will always and forever be the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
And speaking of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I got to talk to some of the people behind the scenes of it, Georgia Tech played BYU, and BYU
Great game.
took them down 25-21. Close game at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. I have been there for this. It's been called a bunch of different things, but it is the Pop-Tarts Bowl now. So
Please continue to be the Pop-Tarts Bowl forever.
I will tell you this, though. Like, the Pop-Tarts Bowl is connected to the ACC. It's one of the ACC's bowl-designated places, and they come to the ACC kickoff, and they have a bevy of Pop-Tarts, and you could just say, but Murph, here's the crazy thing. So they had the Pop-Tarts out, and they're like, hey, take a Pop-Tart. Like, get some stuff. This lady was like, she goes, take two. Because I was thinking, do I take another one? I didn't really want anybody to look. And she goes, take two, take three. Then at the end of the day, they left, but they left what was left of the Pop-Tarts. They had boxes of Pop-Tarts. I said, bro, I pay for these all the time. So no shame. I took boxes of Pop. I still got some. Like I took a ton of Pop-Tarts from the ACC kickoff. I don't care. I'll do it again. But
Save them for when as long as you got brown sugar cinnamon or blueberry or strawberry. Yeah. Save them for when I'm up there.
Well, that's the
which we might have to do sometime in January.
Yeah, and
maybe try to coordinate around a GG Cards and Breaks trade night.
Well, yeah, and I think we're figuring out when that's going to be in January. But so here's a fun thing about Murph. Murph is a very picky eater. I am not. So what I found out is Murph in my love language is brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts.
Yes.
So
this is the official ranking of Pop-Tarts. Brown sugar cinnamon.
Everybody else.
Blueberry.
Yeah.
Strawberry.
Yeah.
Everything else. That's the official from the Pop-Tarts connoisseur. There is no other ranking that is possible. That is the only correct response. Yeah. I do not care about your opinion. That is the correct response.
This is Murph. If you go to like a generic place and you get like instead of the Pop-Tarts, you get the thing that says like toasted or something like that, he'll smack the box out of your hand. I
won't eat it.
Get that blasphemy out of my face.
Although one of my fitters from TaylorMade, there's a pastry shop that he goes to where he gets his coffee every morning.
Yeah.
And it was about 10 minutes away from a spot where we were doing a fitting event at.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you like Pop-Tarts, this place has unreal. They make them fresh. They're awesome. I was like, yeah, I'll try one. He brings it for me one day. It was, I don't know if it was brown sugar. It might have just been cinnamon sugar. It might have been brown sugar cinnamon. I don't remember. It was really good, but it was really sweet. I would have it again. It was very good.
Yeah.
But it was really sweet. Borderline felt like I was getting a cavity right then and there.
Yeah. No, there's some stuff out there that'll just put it on you, make you feel like it's ridiculous. But
it was really good. So Will, thank you for grabbing that for me. I have your putter, by the way. So
and by the way,
I got to bring you that next time I see you.
We've said it so many times. So thank you to this segment brought to you by Pop-Tarts. You owe me money. But I mean, it's great. It's awesome.
No, we're talking about the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
We are talking. Well,
but yes, Bowl. We're talking about the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So pay us.
Yeah. Bring in the money. We need
pay him.
We need to figure it out. Yes. Bring me in my lifetime supply of Pop-Tarts. So Georgia Tech.
What I wouldn't do for a lifetime supply of Pop-Tarts.
That's right. It's getting weird. But BYU, Georgia Tech.
I'd eat 5 of them a day probably.
No, what I loved was going to Murph's house and he's like, dude, you want a snack? You want a snack? And I don't even know if he asked the first time. He just the cabinet was open and I looked into the cabinet and I didn't see brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. I saw a box that was that would have been envied by Sam's Club or BJ's. I don't know where.
I think it was from Sam's Club or BJ's.
I actually think Murph went straight to the Pop-Tart company.
Probably BJ's.
And he got like a factory sealed box. Because he doesn't just box break cards, he also does it with Pop-Tarts. And so this is like the biggest box of Pop-Tarts that I've seen in my life. And he's like, "You want a Pop-Tart, man?" And I was like, "You like brown sugar cinnamon?" "I love brown sugar cinnamon." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, this is
It's
where
the only correct answer to the best Pop-Tart.
Yeah, and so that's...
I don't care what anybody else says.
Well, I say that to people. I'm like, you know, when you talk about something and then somebody starts to give their opinion, I'm like, who asked for that? Like, who in this room said that I care what you think about your Pop-Tart flavor? Like, I know what I like, and also, I like it. I can't have it all the time. It is very sweet, speaking of sweet.
I don't have them every day anymore. Not like I used to.
I will tell you this.
But yeah.
The wild berry Pop-Tart, there are moments in my life that take me
That
back.
one's not bad.
Yeah, take me back to watching Goosebumps as a kid.
Haven't had it in a while, though.
Wild berry. I'll rock with wild berry. I'll rock with a little pumpkin spice during the holiday season. But I can tell you that the brown sugar cinnamon it's a game changer. And
Far and away the best.
yeah, it's amazing. It's wonderful. So Pop-Tarts.
Give it the gold. Give it the gold medal. Give it the Wanamaker Trophy. Give it the Stanley Cup. Give it the Lombardi. Give it the Commissioner's Trophy. Give it all the trophies.
I'm telling you this right now. I'm getting in touch with the Pop-Tarts Bowl after the show this morning. I'm gonna be like, you have to go back and watch.
I'll go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl with you next year, dude. Let's get in on it. Let's go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl next year.
Yeah, Murph is gonna be the person in the coach's news press conference where the coach is supposed to like eat the Pop-Tart, and they're gonna be like, "Where the hell are they?" And then they're gonna.
And I'll be in the back eating them all.
And Murph's gonna have crumbs all over his face, being like, "Oh,
Yep.
I thought that those aren't for the media. That's not." But yeah, so Pop-Tarts Bowl. Shout out to you, Camping World Stadium, awesome stadium. I told people that should be the home of the Jaguars. I said it a year ago at least. And it's going to be the home of the Jaguars in 2027. So I'm happy.
They're not building a new stadium, right? They're just renovating it?
They're renovating their stadium, so they're shifting. It's a multi-year process. And Camping World was the stadium that I said it was the only one that
makes the
made
most sense
in the state of Florida. I gave all my reasons.
Other than going to Gainesville, it was the only thing that made sense.
But this is the thing. You go to Orlando, okay, if people that don't know the Camping World Stadium, it's not that far from anything. It's called SeaWorld, Universal.
Yeah, it's literally right off the highway.
SeaWorld, Universal, not too far from the airport, Walt Disney World. This is going to bring non-football fans. It's going to bring non-Jaguar fans. It's going to be people that just need something to do on a Sunday. So this is a fantastic decision. Because if you went to Gainesville, you got to go back and forth. They got a game on Saturday.
That's true, yeah.
You got to get everything done on Sunday. Now you're
trying... Well, they would probably plan the schedule around that so that Florida's
right.
not playing at home when the Jaguars are.
But it makes more of a difficult schedule. It makes all this stuff. You got Camping World Stadium where there's nothing going on. And then you have Gainesville where you're going back and forth. And if there is one that you can't change... Okay, you got to make the field this for Saturday at 3 p.m. Then you got to shift it to this at 1 p.m. the next day. You got less than 24 hours to do it. And
you see like
in the middle of nowhere,
Heinz Field or whatever they call it now will still do that with the University of Pitt and the Steelers.
Yeah.
You still see plenty of places do it. I mean, the Coliseum used to have to do it when the Rams and Chargers first moved to L.A.
Well, there was a time where San Diego, the Chargers, and the Padres, where the baseball field was on the football field, and there was like the dirt stuff on the field, and I think there was a time where wasn't it like early in the Chargers' existence where their stadium wasn't finished yet?
No, they were playing at Petco, or
no, they actually lost. Well, I don't know if this is why I can't say that, but apparently, because I remember talking about this. I was at Marywood and I was getting my show prepared because I was in Scranton at the time, and this was after I graduated, but I was just preparing the show. Roger Goodell, allegedly the NFL office, told the Chargers, you have to figure out your stadium. And they literally gave them I think it was like an 8-year window of fix it. Like, you got to do something because you can't have it like this. So, and it was like the baseball stadium was in the middle of the football field, and it was just a wild kind of weird approach, and it looked strange, but they eventually have now moved to Los Angeles, but
Wait a minute. Did the pod? That's
the
right.
Padres and the Chargers had
The
the same.
Padres played at their stadium before Petco was built.
It was
I
a weird.
forgot
Because
about that.
now we have Petco, which I haven't been in, but I've driven by last year when I was talking
I
about the
was
Holiday
so
Bowl.
tempted to go get a tour of Petco when I was out there. I didn't do it. I imagine at some point I'll be back out there.
Yeah.
Having done the tour experience at Wrigley, I almost feel like that's better than just going to a game. Because like you learn a little bit about the history of the stadium. Now, granted, Wrigley's different.
Yeah.
Wrigley is Wrigley. It is the second oldest stadium in baseball. It is a national historical landmark. So getting to hear the story of how everything started and why the ivy was on the wall and um, seeing everything and getting to walk, like we went up to the press box, we were down on the field. We didn't get to go in the clubhouse or anything, which would have been pretty cool. But
Yeah.
even still, like I want to do that. I'm gonna probably try to do that at Petco at some point. But like Yankee Stadium, when I went this year, I didn't get to see Monument Park, which is one of the things I wanted to do. So next time I go to Yankee Stadium, maybe sometime this year, I got to get there early enough to go to Monument Park because apparently it closes like 45 minutes before the game starts.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a great. San Diego was great. I mean, the food was great.
Great city.
The experience was great. Shout out to Dr. Donald Godwin and our connection back to Marywood.
Might have just been the food they got us.
No, the food was great.
I think it was just the food they got us.
You're picky, Murph.
Well,
You're very
no.
picky.
Like,
I ate cactus.
Nobody,
Murph.
honest to God, nobody liked it.
I ate cactus.
The Italian when we got there,
Yeah.
my boss and like 3 other guys that we were sitting with were like, "Yeah, this is not good." It was an Italian restaurant.
You don't go to an Italian restaurant in San Diego.
Wasn't my decision.
You should know that.
Wasn't my decision. That's where dinner was.
Because every Italian's like, you know what? When I want to get myself some like good
gelato was good.
When
though.
I want some good Goomba food, I go to
ice cream.
San Diego. I go to the border
It was
of
basically
Mexico.
ice cream.
I go to the border of Mexico to get myself some good Italian food. No, blasphemy. It's like people that go down to Florida to get pizza. Anyways, let's hop back into. There's 2 things I want to talk about that have to do with bowl season before we go to the college football playoff. Back to that. There's 2 coaches that I happen to know personally and professionally, and they've been on the show multiple times. And I want to shout them out because they both did something that you don't typically see a coach do this well. So I want to shout them out and give them their flowers. And I will do this by going and saying shout out to Army for winning the Wasabi Fenway Bowl 41-16 over UConn.
Wasabi, damn.
That's right.
Never
Fenway
didn't
Park.
see that one.
Yeah, Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts.
Baston.
So that was that game, and so I want to give them a shout out for that. And then I have to give my shout out to UTSA and the Roadrunners in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl for beating FIU 57-20 at the Gerald J. Ford Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Now, congratulations to 2 of those teams, but I also really brought them up to just talk about this. Coaches sometimes try to elude the Gatorade dumping onto them. But I have not seen in my life 2 coaches with faster speed and better moves than my guy Jeff Traylor of UTSA and Mr. Jeff Monken of the Army Black Knights. So if you go back and watch those videos, and I texted them both, and I got messages back from both of them the night after like their game, and after the game had finished, I got a text message that night from both of these gentlemen. Shout out to Jeff Monken of Army, who obviously knows what he's doing out there. Maybe he's been getting himself on the obstacle course. And a shout out to Jeff Traylor at UTSA, 2 of the fastest, most elusive coaches, arguably the best in the business right now, to get away from a Gatorade plunge. And if they didn't have staff members and or players try to slow them down by physically being there and putting their hand on them or something like that, or trying to stop them, I think these guys would have ran out of the stadium. So there must be something to being fast and being named Jeff. Shout out to Jeff Monken and Jeff Traylor for making two amazing moments that both got on SportsCenter in bowl season history. Guys, I didn't listen. I would never I'll put my money and hope the best for y'all, but I'm going to tell you right now, I want to see Jeff Traylor run a 40 in the NFL Combine, and Monken, you could get through a labyrinth. The jigsaw, the way that he just the edges he took and all of that. All I'm saying is, where's the eligibility for Jeff Monken and Jeff Traylor?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Good for them for taking care of business, and I'm sure obviously getting to play at Fenway must have been pretty cool for Army, and winning the game and everything would be is awesome. Um, but some of these bowl games have been fun. I mean, we talked just about the Pop Tarts Bowl just in general, but BYU was down for a while in that game. Like they had to come back and win that football game. I mean, I'm sitting there. We were having dinner after the Brotherly Love show at Philly Live. Just went into their sports bar to have dinner and a beer.
Yeah.
And we're watching it on the TV. They had the Chargers Texans game on, and then they had Pop Tarts Bowl on. And Pop Tarts Bowl was starting to get a little bit out of hand with Georgia Tech and BYU, and I'm like, damn, and BYU really thought they were going to be in the playoff, and then they came back and won it, and I was like, all right.
Give Georgia Tech
Team
credit.
showed some fight.
Georgia Tech, even in these, if they're going to lose, you still look at the close games that they play, how they're never truly out of certain things. And, I mean, again, last year, 8 overtimes with Georgia, with Carson Beck. So just to remind people, Georgia Tech, if you want to keep them under your radar and not give them their flowers, Georgia Tech and Virginia have done a tremendous job. By the way, shout out to former ACC Commissioner John Swofford, who said to me when I was talking to him about divisions back then, and I said, some people don't like the divisions. They think all the talent's in the Atlantic Division and the Coastal has, a cakewalk here. And he said, Dan, but if you talk to us in the past, he goes, in the past it was the Coastal. In the past, maybe they wanted to, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, in the past, maybe they wanted to do away with the Coastal Division because they thought that was a division that was top, that had so many teams in it, and the Atlantic Division was not as tough. So I'll never forget this. He said, if the Atlantic Division now is playing well, but watch, it'll swing back. He's like, it was the Coastal, now it's the Atlantic. They want to do away with divisions because of what Clemson and Florida State and whatever were doing at the time. He's like, but it'll swing back to the Coastal. Well, the ACC doesn't have divisions anymore. But if they did, the teams that are the ones that are striking and playing the way they're playing, Georgia Tech, Duke, Miami, Virginia, all Coastal Division. So shout out to ACC Commissioner at the time when we were sitting down, John Swofford. You were 100% correct.
I hope he can convince I don't know who the ACC Commissioner is now, but I hope he can convince him to... Yeah, I hope he can convince Jim Phillips to change the structure of the tiebreakers, because it is forever going to be a meme that Miami was not in the ACC championship game.
Well, and I did
because they would have blown the doors off of Virginia.
Well, and I talked to one of the guys,
Duke
beat
Virginia,
one of the linemen that I had the opportunity of speaking with. It's actually going to go up this week in anticipation of the game. Got to do interviews with Texas Tech as well as Miami and Ohio State. So you'll have the opportunity to see those on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. You'll also see them on YouTube.com/Wake Up Call DT. So make sure you're on the lookout for all of these. But I had the opportunity to speak with a lot of guys from Miami, and just so happened to talk to somebody about this season, and he put in his answer, we would have loved to play for the ACC championship game, but that maybe it was a blessing in disguise that they didn't play in that game. And obviously one less game, less wear and tear on your body, get prepared for Texas A&M. But, Miami, and I also got to talk to Reuben Bain Jr., and I said to him, I was like, Reuben, very few people in the world ever get to say that they blocked a kick. And dude blocked a kick in the Texas A&M game in the college football playoff first round this season, and he had 3 sacks in that game. So shout out to Ruben Bain Jr., everybody that I had the opportunity of talking with. A lot of fun there, a lot of great stuff.
Isn't he
Also,
projected top 5 pick?
they got Ruben. I want to say somebody was it him that they
I
had
heard
said-
him going. I heard someone saying maybe number 1 at one point.
Yeah, I think because when we were doing it, one of the guys in the media, I think they said that they had him. They had said something to him when they were asking him a question like, you're projected to be a potential, and it might have been Ruben Bain. I'm looking at it right now. So
Because I know there was an edge rusher from Miami that was projected like top 5.
yeah. So let's see here.
I think it
First-
was him.
Yeah, okay. So on Friday, Bain was the first defensive lineman taken off the board, 8th pick. So yeah, so he's
8. Damn.
he's projected to be by some the number 1 defensive lineman off the board. So, and
Okay.
Ruben, and he's fun to talk to. By the way, believes in God. So him and I got to talk about his faith in God as well, which was really, really cool. But yeah, I love talking with the Texas Tech head coach. I love the opportunity to also speak with Ohio State, who I got to speak with last year, and that was a lot of fun. And then Miami, we got to do a lot with Miami, so I'm excited to. And the other cool thing about it, because I cover the whole ACC, is I see how people respond when we put all the teams out, and the ACC has 17 football members. So I just remember through time that I'd put out like an interview with Manny Diaz, who was the coach there at the time, or a player or something like that. The response that I get from the Miami Hurricane fans is awesome. So Hurricanes fans, if you're watching, if you're listening, I just want to let you know that I appreciate it, because I've gone back and looked at some videos and I'm like, holy crap. But they jump right on it. They're in it. They're with it. And I'll see you all down at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. It's going to be a tough one for me because there's a little history between Miami and Ohio State. And, Ohio State's trying to win back-to-back, and Miami's, I don't know. I feel that Miami is the dark horse of this final 8. And
100%.
And I'm
If they win a national championship, I can't wait to hear Notre Dame fans' response. Oh, they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Well, they just won the national championship.
All right. Well, I will say
Can't
this.
say the same about you.
No, and the thing, and I will say this about Miami. Like, I have to make my picks before Wednesday, and that'll be in a separate video, and it'll be on all of our channels for Wake Up Call. I have been thinking about this Miami Ohio State game for a while.
I think this is arguably the toughest game.
And I know where I'm leaning, but I respect them both. And I think that arguably whoever wins this game could win the national championship.
Easily.
So
Easily.
I'm definitely like this
I don't think that side of the bracket's all that good, other than those two.
well,
Like,
yeah.
I don't particularly think that, Georgia and who's the 6th seed?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. I don't think either one of them would win. I don't like Georgia right now. We'll see.
By the way,
But
go ahead.
yeah. No, I'm all about, at this point, I think the winner of Ohio State Miami is going to the championship.
Well, and that's, I mean, I feel like this game is potentially, it could show us who the national champion is going to be. I do find it interesting that the way the bracket was set up by the College Football Playoff Committee, they love these SEC rematches. We had Alabama, Oklahoma in the first round, and Alabama avenged their loss. And now we have Georgia, Ole Miss in the quarterfinal round, and Ole Miss lost 41-35 in the regular season. So now Ole Miss is going to try to avenge their loss. But arguably, Ole Miss is like maybe the team that, of all the teams that are left, Ole Miss may be the sleeper one, the one that people think like, that's kind of the Cinderella story. Even though they're in the SEC, it kind of like because Alabama's not the Cinderella story, Indiana's not the Cinderella story. I mean, I guess some people would say Texas Tech, but they were also a top 4 seed. So, I mean, if we're really looking at who played in the first round, who would be the Cinderella, I honestly think it's Ole Miss, because I don't know if people are going to give them a chance against Georgia, and I don't know if anybody's going to give them a high probability against Miami or Ohio State. So arguably, Ole Miss would be the glass slipper of this college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, they are a big one of these. They're a big question mark.
Yeah.
You don't know, like, I'm not taking anything away from the Tulane game. I don't think I think they could have sleepwalked through that game and still beat them. So I don't really take anything away from that game as far as like, oh, they don't have Lane Kiffin. They're still really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about the Tulane game. They were never losing that game. I don't care what anybody says. They were never losing that game. So going into Georgia, who they've lost to in the regular season with Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
I mean, is there going to be some motivation to, win a game, go win a national championship without him? Because, there's guys that he's bringing over to LSU that are still coaching over there, that are still coaching in Ole Miss, and credit to them for wanting to go finish the job. I don't, Lane wanted to finish the job, but Ole Miss said no. That's on Ole Miss if they lose a national championship because of that.
Stupid.
So that was stupid. It's not like he was saying, I'm just going to abandon my team when, we're about to go play for a national championship. He wanted to stay.
But
they wouldn't let him.
The thing is, like, who's telling the truth? Because
I think Lane's telling the truth, personally.
Lane wanted to stay, then it's like the players, that's not the case, maybe. Or then, like, the school. But the reality of it all is you're arguably within the best season in Ole Miss Rebel football history. You're playing in your first ever college football playoff. Why would you mess with the sauce? But the way that they responded against Tulane was great. And now with Georgia in a rematch, how they respond, how they take this approach, what they do with this SEC matchup, it's going to say a lot. I mean, does this team have that? I mean, without the coach,
basically a home game for them.
Right. But I mean, when you look at this, you don't have your coach. Does that affect your locker room in a positive or negative way? Because if they keep winning and they do it in a very convincing fashion, then the question becomes, did any of this have to do with Lane? Was Lane really, like, are they better without him than they are with? I don't want to say obviously he recruited and whatnot, but the question becomes, if this team keeps winning, was Lane a potential problem? Was Lane going to be an issue down the road? Was Lane really the right leader for this team? Because remember, they promoted from within. So that's the other part of this too. Not every school can say this. The head coach moving forward is their head coach right now. So that guy that's coaching this team to try and win a national championship, it's like, thanks, Lane, for leaving me the keys to the vehicle. He's the coach next year. It's not like this guy's a placeholder. He's the guy. So I'm very interested to see how they respond in the college football playoff, especially against Georgia, in a rematch, which is going to, if they win, it's going to beg the question, yeah, okay, Lane is a good coach and he's done some good things, but are they better without him than they are with him? Sometimes you could be in a relationship where there's a lot of great stuff, but something's holding you back. And so maybe Lane and Ole Miss had a really great relationship 80%, but the other 20 was missing. And if they keep winning, does that kind of make the Ole Miss legacy for Lane a little bit different? Saying, I mean, he could say, well, I built this thing and obviously I built it so well it can run without me. Or the players could be saying, yeah, you helped us build this thing, but we're somehow even more focused, even more determined, even better without you. Or this could be we just want to win to show that it wasn't all you. I mean, it's a lot of different things that it can be. I want to see Ole Miss win because I don't like how this nasty divorce ended, but I also respect Georgia like crazy. I'm not. It's weird. This is where I stand with Georgia. I'm literally at this like this teeter-totter thing, right? I'm like, Georgia could win the national championship or Georgia could be underwhelming. Like, I'm in this place of like, I'm not sold on Georgia, but then I'm also in this place of saying, Dan, you know better. You know better. So
It's still Georgia.
you know
Just
what I
like
mean?
it's still Alabama.
Right. But I think if Indiana beats Alabama, I'm gonna have a
That's
lot. I'm gonna have a lot
yeah.
to say about that. But if Alabama beats Indiana, now all of a sudden Alabama's gonna shoot up people's lists because are you not gonna pick Alabama against Texas Tech? Are you not gonna pick Alabama against Oregon?
I mean, it wasn't all that long ago that we were talking about Alabama being the best team in college football. They hit a wall
They had a tough schedule.
they did. And they came through it almost perfect and they hit a wall and fell off. They lost another game and then they got blown out by Georgia. And they really weren't playing all that well going into. I thought they were going to be one and done. And then they played really well against Oklahoma. They must have had some great practices and they win that game. If Indiana wins that game, to me, they are the clear-cut national championship favorites. Clear cut. I wouldn't take anybody to beat them. I would say whether it's Oregon or Texas Tech that they play in the semis, they're going to beat them. They've already beaten Oregon. Texas Tech I don't think is all that good anyway, so I think they could beat them. And then whoever it is in the championship, if it's Ohio State, we already saw that play out.
Yeah.
If it's Georgia, I don't care. Indiana wins this game, they are my pick to win the national championship, without question.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like what you predicted by accident. So I kind of like your Indiana, what Freudian slip, the Indiana Miami. I don't dislike that. So Murph,
I don't either.
Let's pick them, Murph. We have the final 8. Like I said, one game on New Year's Eve, my dad's birthday. Shout out to Pops. And a happy early birthday to my dad. January 1st, we have 3 games that will take up our time on that Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday of this week, the final week of December leading into January and leading into 2026. Let's pick them. We're going to go with the game that is the only game on December 31st, which is Miami, Ohio State, Murph. So I'm going to go ahead and clear up this board so we could do a little thing here. So I'm going to put Murph on here so you can know that these are Murph's picks, and then I'll make my picks. So here's Murph's picks, and of course I'll advance the teams that made it once again so that we know who we're dealing with here. But Murph, I want you to give me who's making it to the Final Four of the college football playoff for 2025-26. Let's start with, in order, we'll go down the line, Miami, Ohio State.
As we've talked about, this is the toughest game. No doubt about it. Carson Beck has been pretty darn good for Miami. He hasn't been like exceptionally good, but he's played very well, especially in the last handful of games for them, to the point where I'm looking at it and thinking, yeah, like they could easily win this game. But it's also Ohio State on the other side, and their only loss is in the Big Ten Championship to Indiana. They're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
It's really hard for me to pick against Ohio State here. But I'm going to, but I'm not going, and so I'm not going to. So I would put Ohio State through. I think this is going to be the best game of the week. But I would put Ohio State through. I think it could easily come down to a field goal. And if Miami wins this game, I would not at all be shocked. But me personally, it's really difficult to pick against Ohio State.
Yeah, it is. Let's go. They've been the team out of the Big Ten the most that has backed it up when they've gotten high rankings. Let's go to Texas Tech and Oregon. This is going to be the first game on January 1st. Who you picking, Murph?
I think this is the worst game of the weekend, or of the midweek, I should say.
I'll make sure to tell the Orange Bowl that when I get there. I'll be like, just so you know,
I've
Murph.
been to the Orange Bowl. I love the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
My Gators won the Orange Bowl when I was there. I don't think this is going to be much of a game. I think it's Oregon all the way, and I don't think it's going to be much of a contest. I don't think Texas Tech is very good. They've got 2 impressive wins over BYU, but I also didn't think BYU was that good either. So for me, it's Oregon, and there's not much really to, talk about there. I don't think Texas Tech is good.
All right, so Murph going with Oregon. That's a 4-5 matchup, by the way, folks. So the seeding is close. The next one that we have is going to take us to the Rose Bowl, and that will be the midday game on January 1st. Number 9 seeded Alabama, number 1 seeded Indiana. Murph, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean we talked about this one with Alabama. I've talked about it before. They were struggling coming into this Oklahoma game, and they showed out and they played really well against Oklahoma, and I was impressed. They didn't blow out Oklahoma, but they came back from 17 points down to come back and win this football game. Ty Simpson didn't look great, but he did enough to to get the job done and beat Oklahoma. So, it was, he's a guy that you got to pay attention to, but what I've seen from Indiana and Fernando Mendoza this year, this is I think I really think this is a team of destiny. This is a team that last year nobody thought they should be in the college football playoff. They got blown out. Neither one of us thought they should be in the college football playoff. They were.
Yeah.
They got blown out. We know that. They, I think, came into this year with a chip on their shoulder saying, we are going to win a national championship. So give me the Hoosiers.
And by the way, seeing someone, and you grow up and it's like, oh, men can't show their feelings and men can't cry and all this garbage that some people peddle. Fernando Mendoza, to give all glory to God, to talk about, his faith and what matters to him, to cry openly. I respect him for that. He's a talented guy. He's also like a little kid just playing the game he loves. So I can respect and appreciate what Indiana's doing. Like I said, folks, check the tape. I never said Indiana wasn't good. I said I wanted them to beat somebody that was tier 1. They did that when they beat Ohio State. So
I'd say they did that when they beat Oregon too, but
Oregon's a tier 2 team to me this year. They're ranked high, but their schedule was very, very generous. And I would have liked to see.
Well, they played
a
Penn State team at full strength in the whiteout. At the time, Penn State obviously was still playing well. They were completely healthy. Penn State played a really good football game, but lost to a better team. Obviously, we saw what happened after Penn State lost that game. Yeah. I think there was some residual effects from that Oregon game where Penn State just lost it, and James Franklin ends up getting fired 3 or 4 weeks later, and that was that. But at the time, that was a good win. I still think, as bad as they were this year, anything after Oregon would be, somebody beating Penn State's not a good win. But that Oregon game, I still think it's not a quality win, but it's not you're just going to skip over it win. It was a solid win playing in the whiteout at Penn State. You've been there for it. It is not an easy place to play.
No.
So, I still think that's a better win than, you've given them credit for, than other people have given them credit for. But, obviously they've played some other what we would call cupcakes. So, It's one of those things where you look at, their only loss being Indiana. You know, they beat basically Penn State was the only team they beat up until the Iowa game. They beat Iowa by 2 on the road. Again, that's a solid win. USC we thought was overranked, so it's an okay win. Minnesota sucked this year. Rutgers was terrible as usual. Wisconsin hasn't been good in almost a decade. So it was really the Penn State and Iowa wins that you could somewhat consider good wins. But I still think that's a very good football team over there. So for me, it was an easy pick with Oregon also because I don't particularly like Texas Tech because they didn't really beat anybody either. They beat BYU twice, and I don't think BYU is a very good team either.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Big 12 may have something brewing. I will say about Oregon, yes, there's the pageantry of the whiteout. There's being at Penn State. There's the loudness of the crowd. There's the excitement of that. But that does not translate to who that coach is, how that team's been playing. It's how they finish. And so, yes, in the moment, they made it look like a marquee game. But like I said,
I'm just going off of watching. I watched that whole game start to finish.
It was great. I mean, it was great.
That football game was clearly between two very good football teams.
Well, I mean, it was an exciting.
We know what happened to Penn State afterwards.
It was an exciting game, but the other coin is to look at that game and say, "Dang it! Why did it take Oregon all of that to beat a not good team this year?" So again, Penn State should not have been ranked that high. They shouldn't have been 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. And that was my gripe with the AP and the coaches poll because, again, tell me why. Don't just tell me because it's Penn
because
State.
They didn't lose anybody other than Abdul Carter.
Because it's
why.
Penn State. And I'm just like, okay, that doesn't matter to me.
It's because they didn't lose anybody.
Well, and
literally, like they still had their quarterback, they still had their best players on offense,
and that's all.
All they lost was Abdul Carter, realistically,
and that's all, and that's a big loss. But that's all well and fine. At the end of the day,
I don't know how they come up with the preseason poll. I really don't.
Right, and that's why they shouldn't have it, and that's why the college football playoff they don't start voting until November, which is fair. Because you've seen them play their non-conference. You've seen them play a bunch of conference games. You've seen how the conferences have kind of looked at this point. So it gives you a lot of body of work to kind of sift through.
What if we just didn't rank teams until November?
That's what I'm saying. And I've talked to other
and
people
then you
about
just
this
take
before.
you take everything, and then you're just like, okay.
The commissioner of the American did not have a preseason football poll this year for the media to do. He's like, I think it's ridiculous. We're not doing a preseason poll. I think it's stupid. There's so much change. Coaches are changing. Rosters are flipping over. Like, how are you guys going to do this? How are you going to just, assess this? So I can understand that. I can appreciate it. I'm not disrespecting Penn State's Beaver Stadium. I'm not disrespecting the fans, and I'm not disrespecting the pageantry around it. That game looks good in the moment because of what the people ranking teams made you think. But the reality of it all is you can tell me a movie's going to be great, but I'll decide when I see it. Penn State is not a bad team, and they got a lot of heart, and they have a wonderful coach that stepped in as an interim, and it's been a beautiful story, and I love that. And I love watching a game at Penn State now, having been to Penn State, because I know what it feels like. But my job is to look at the entire country, all of the conferences, and assess. And nobody could give me a factual reason why Penn State was ranked that high. So I still am waiting for Oregon to give me that big win. And it's not going to be the Texas Tech game. They're going to have to beat Alabama or Indiana for me to go, okay, Oregon, I see you. So they still got some work to do. Georgia and Ole Miss is the final game of the quarterfinal round. What do you have for this rematch? 41-35 went to Georgia last time in this regular season.
God, I would love to pick against Georgia here. Obviously, you guys know as a Gator fan,
Murph
I hate the
hater
Georgia Bulldogs.
he's such a hater because that Georgia-Florida game every year. So, Such a hater.
Yeah.
Such a hater.
Yeah.
We got Murph.
I mean, hey, it's gonna be in the swamp for one of these years, and I'm looking forward to that. I might try to go to that game if it's in the when it's in the swamp, because while they're doing the renovations to the Jaguar Stadium, they're going to be playing at their home stadiums for the next 2 years, I believe. So, I am very tempted to go to the Florida Georgia game that when they play it.
I can't
I
wait.
don't know if it's this year or next year they're playing at home.
I can't wait for Murph to look me in the eye and tell me, hey, your boy John Summerall, he's not that bad. I like him.
He's not off to a good start. He lost me Jaden Baugh and DJ Lagway. That's not a good start.
Look at how angry he gets. He's so mad. Care. Murph is
that is not a good start.
Murph has been very angry
John,
about this.
You had one job. Keep those two guys.
But here's the thing, DJ Lagway, listen.
You had one job.
It could have nothing.
I don't care how bad he was this year.
But it could have nothing to do with John Summerall.
It had everything to do with John Summerall because he had a sit-down meeting with him. And DJ Lagway left that meeting basically saying, yeah, they don't want me, I'm out.
Well, maybe they think there's somebody else to bring in. Maybe there's a better move to make. See, the thing is about I
won't believe it until I see it.
The thing is about the heir apparent is that everybody wants the heir apparent, right? Everybody wanted Arch Manning, so there was people that crapped on Quinn Ewers. I didn't, because I watched him live. And I know you and I went back and forth. You're like, he's an average guy at best. I disagreed. I was like, bro, 4th down twice in a college football playoff game when you know you're going home if you lose. Being at that Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl quarterfinal last year between Texas and Arizona State, which was an instant classic. Quinn Ewers, Cam Scatterbo, wonderful game. That matchup, what Quinn Ewers did when that team had a lead, lost the lead, and then he on 4th down drops back, makes it happen in regulation. Then in overtime on 4th and 10, stands under center and throws a touchdown ice water in his veins to the middle of the end zone. I was like, bro, like, who does that? Name 5 people that are doing this in college football right now, like that are gonna on 4th and 10. You're gonna go, yeah, you know what? They'll get it. I mean,
played well for the Dolphins this week,
right? And then I'm a Quinn Ewers fan from watching him, interviewing him, being around him. I am a fan from being in it, and I said going into the season, I will not be surprised if and when Quinn Ewers gets asked to start a game. I said, I'm not going to be surprised if Quinn Ewers goes out there. He got a victory. He gave all glory to God, which I appreciate and respect. But all I want to say about Quinn Ewers is that dog is fun to watch. I'm excited, but people always want the heir apparent. And I'm not knocking DJ Lagway because I was a Lagway fan. I want a lot of good things to happen with Lagway. I should not even say a fan. I was a hopeful person in Lagway. But John Summerall might have come in and said, hey, it ain't working. Maybe you need a new chapter. We need a new chapter. So I know because he's in there and he's the guy and he was the heir apparent a couple years ago. There's the he's got to be, he's going to be, he will be. It would be like if a new coach went to Texas and Sarkisian left, new guy comes in and then Arch Manning leaves. Sometimes it's just, I don't want to deal with another coach. I don't want to go through this. This is not the guy that recruited me. I don't like the way he's talking to me. I don't like what he's saying to me. I don't like his plan for me. I don't like his offense. It could be a million different things. But when there is a coaching change, it's a normal thing before the transfer.
Oh, I know.
To lose players. But again, people shit on Quinn Ewers because they desperately wanted Arch Manning. People shit on Eric Dungy because they desperately wanted Tommy DeVito. So there's this like, I want the next guy and he has to work. Where DJ Lagway, maybe it was going to work, maybe it wasn't going to work. I want the best for him. I want the best for Florida. I didn't want them to lose him. But if John Summerall thought that this was best for the team, we'll see what he has in the pipeline. It could also be a sit-down conversation of John sitting with DJ, not liking his body language, not liking how he reacted, not liking what he was saying. Maybe he went in that meeting saying, I want to keep this guy. And then DJ was kind of like, nah, I don't really care. You know, whatever. I don't even really know who you are. Like, you know, what are you going to do? Like, people don't know what those two gentlemen discussed fully how the discussion went, how the body language was. 90% of what you're saying isn't coming out of your mouth. So you don't know. DJ could have walked in saying, I want to be here, and felt like he wasn't welcome. Summerall could have walked in saying, that's my guy, and then was like, that guy doesn't have any respect for me. We don't know what happened in that specific room, but
I'd love to know what went on in that meeting.
They dog John Summerall because they say, oh, he's a group of five. Well, guess what, folks? The American has been poached by the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the SEC. They're literally a farm system of finding a good coach to lead their program. So the reality of it all, and I don't want them to be a farm system, and it's sick, but the reality of it all is, if their players weren't good, if their coaches weren't good, if their institutions weren't good, why do you steal them all the time? So the people that are saying, I don't want John Summerall because he came from Tulane and he didn't play the competition and he's not a good coach and blah, 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 blah. The reality of it all is the American is a place where people go to find their coaches. And they went and got 4 of them this year. The SEC got 3. The Big 12 got 1. And John Summerall is going to Florida. And let's be real. Whether John Summerall came from Tulane or Kansas or North Carolina or UCLA or East Bumbletucky, Florida Gator fans are pissed off. They're angry. They're frustrated. They want to win. They don't like what's been happening. Their closest bet was Dan Mullen, and the school let him go. So I will say this about
athletic director let him go.
Murph, I will say this about the Florida Gators as I will say about the Florida State Seminoles. Relax, breathe, and don't let your first message on social media being how much do you hate the guy who just got hired to lead your program and has never coached a game there. Because that is sick to me. People, they hate him. Like, could you imagine you're moving your family to Gainesville? You're so excited. It's a great opportunity. You thank the Lord for it. You cried happy tears. You go on X and you got 75 messages from Florida Gator fans saying you're trash. Like, and I'm not saying that he got those, but I'm giving an example here of how people look at those that are not in the quote unquote power conferences. And the American is a place where coaches are taken from all the time. So I would just alert people that if you don't like the move, I guess you got to be mad at the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC all at the same time. Because that's where they take from all the time. Almost every year. Almost every single year. I've covered the American since its institution. It is a normalcy for a coach to get good, get some national exposure, and be poached by the power conferences. So,
how have those hires really turned out?
But again,
there haven't been a lot of success stories from that.
And have there been a lot of success stories with anybody? Have there been a lot of success stories with anyone that's come from certain places? Is Florida ever satisfied? Is Arkansas ever satisfied? When you look at certain conferences, Arkansas...
I'm not just talking about them. I'm talking about everybody.
Right, but
there has not been a whole lot of those group of 5 teams coaches that are coming over to the Power 4 and, being successful.
I would also...
Probably 95% of them are resulting in 2 to 3 year windows where they're getting fired. Because the team got worse, or they're not improving, they're not recruiting well.
It's a normalcy.
Whatever the case may be.
It's a normalcy, though. If you go SEC to SEC, think about it. Brian Kelly goes from Notre Dame to LSU. It didn't work out.
I still think there was more to that story, though.
He went from power to power.
There was definitely more to that story.
Allegedly. And it didn't, but and that didn't work out. Okay?
Yeah.
Look at Matt Rule. Matt Rule has brought Nebraska back to a place better than they've been in, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. Been a long time. So, been a long time since 1983 when they were the number 1 team in the country, came to Syracuse and got beat in the Dome. So, Matt Rule is one of those. Temple, Baylor, Carolina Panthers, eventually Nebraska. There's coaches and there's also, you think about when you go to these programs, a lot of the times they're not good. So Chad Morris brings SMU out of the basement. He goes to Arkansas. They give him about 3 years. And they go, well, you haven't done anything. We're getting rid of you. Well, when has Arkansas been good? When have they been good? Like, honestly, if I'm Ryan Silverfield, I don't feel great about that because Arkansas might get to the middle of the pack. And if Arkansas gets to 8 wins, 9 wins, maybe one time while Silverfield's there in the next 3 years, there's a good chance he gets fired. Right? You look at Alex Golesh at Auburn, and Auburn's got to beat Alabama. If he doesn't beat Alabama, they're going to want to fire him every single year he doesn't beat Alabama. So I also look at where these coaches are going. I look at what programs they're going to. Because to say, well, it doesn't work out with the group of going to the power, it's like, where are they going? I mean, we look at Luke Fickell and what he built in Cincinnati. If he was at Cincinnati right now, they might be in the college football playoff. But he goes to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not good. They haven't been good in a really long time. So for him to go there and say, well, it didn't work out because he came from Cincinnati and they were in the American and those were his best years, so obviously he's not a good coach in the power conference. It's like, no, who is going to be a good coach for Wisconsin? Who has worked in Wisconsin? You know, the Pitt coach and that connection, like going to Wisconsin. When is
Wisconsin was a great program about 10 years ago.
It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while for Wisconsin. It's been a while for Nebraska. It's been a while for Arkansas. It's been a while. Auburn's been up and down. But I mean, look at Bill Belichick. He goes to North Carolina. That team's.
I don't know why he still has a job there.
Right,
to be fair,
because his name is Bill Belichick. But
yeah,
the whole point I'm getting at is Chip Kelly didn't work out in UCLA. So if Bob Chesney doesn't work out in UCLA, I don't want to hear it's because he was at Holy Cross at James Madison. Because Chip Kelly didn't work out there, and Chip Kelly was head coach in the NFL. So
not a very good one.
But he was head coach in the NFL. You hire somebody from the NFL, you hire somebody from a power conference, so to speak, in college football, they give him a pass. Oh, it just didn't work out there. You hire Bob Chesney and it doesn't work out. It's like, well, that's because he came from a sub-level. Well, when did Chip Kelly...
I don't expect James Madison to be any good because Billy Napier is going to be their next head coach.
I also don't think that Lincoln Riley's done a fantastic job at USC coming from Oklahoma. And that was from power to power. So...
I don't know why the Gators weren't in on him. I still don't get it.
And Brent Venables...
He wanted the job.
But you think about it, Brent Venables, who could have gotten fired multiple times by Oklahoma, he doesn't get fired by Oklahoma, and look at what they did this year. So, and look at how they responded to last year. The last game that they had last season, they lost to Navy in a bowl game. So, I mean, I think there's an argument in the case of what you're saying, that the American coaches that have gone on to the power conferences and hasn't necessarily worked out in certain situations. But my response back to you is, how many of these situations in schools are we talking about where it's worked out with anybody in recent history? Because the SEC is known for, you have 3 years. Like, basically now it's like, go to the SEC, get a good buyout, work for 3 years, and then be set for the rest of your next 10 lives with the amount of money that they have to buy you out for. I mean, you go to the SEC, you coach for 3 seasons, they send you out with $50 million, and you don't ever have to. I mean, Jimbo Fisher doesn't have to work again unless he wants to do that, but he doesn't have to do it. I mean, the SEC, I don't think we can say the American coaches aren't good because it hasn't worked in the SEC, because how many coaches, wherever they came from, didn't work in the SEC, whether they came from the ACC or, I mean, Justin Fuente, people don't give him credit. He went to Virginia Tech from Memphis, brought the team to an ACC championship game, almost won that championship game against a really good Clemson team with Deshaun Watson and Deion Kane and Hunter Renfrow at the time. And then he deals with a bunch of injuries, quarterback issues, and all this stuff. He gets he gets blamed for a team that's not at full go, and he eventually leaves. But how many coaches play for a championship in their first year with that program? So I think there's a lot of good coaches that have come through. I know people are going nuts about Mike Norvell. Florida State fans found my post from, 3 years ago, and they're like, you said he was good, you liar. And I was like, how did you even find this? But, like, the reality of it all is, it's not always going to work out. but there's some fan bases that think that they have to go from a 5-win season to a national champion or you should fire the coach. And I feel like the Seminoles and the Gator fans are those fans where they're like, we suck today, we hired a new guy, and we better be in the playoff next year. And you're like, how is that regular logic? You should go from 6 wins to 8 wins and then maybe, 10 wins and then hope. I mean, I feel like if you're the Florida Gators, you got to give this dude 3 years to kind of see what he can do. And if he's building towards something positive, then let him build it. But this mentality of some fan bases that you have to go from 0 to champion is just wild to me.
Yeah. And to me, my whole thing is, yes, he's getting 3 years. That is the MO for the SEC. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
If we don't see improvement, it doesn't have to be like. Now, I'm not one of those people that's going to say you have to win a national championship or you're terrible. You won 5 games this year, 4 games, whatever they won. I think it was 5. You win 5 games with a moron as your head coach. Feel bad for you, James Madison. I really do. Actually, I kind of don't because you did that to yourself. But I need to see steady improvement. We had 5 wins this year. I want 6 or 7 next year.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for him to win 10. If he wins 10, that's great. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to have the roster to win 10 because you just lost your 2 best. You just lost your 2 best players.
Yeah, you got to put the new quarterback in there too, because if the new quarterback doesn't work out, then they can't be like, well, Summerall. They can't treat it like
he's recruiting the new quarterback.
You what?
That's the difference. He's recruiting the new quarterback. If the new quarterback doesn't work out, that's on him. If it was Lagway and he doesn't play well, that's not on him because he didn't recruit Lagway.
What do you think would be said? So if he recruited Lagway, or no, so if Napier brings in Lagway, Napier gets fired, Summerall comes in, Lagway stays. If Lagway doesn't play well under Napier and Summerall, do they?
That's on Lagway.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, that's on Lagway.
That was my question.
I mean, sure, you give Summerall a little bit of the blame because you say, all right, you gotta try to coach this guy up. If it doesn't work, 99% of it is on Lagway.
Because you know how hard it is to find a great like if you asked the average college football fan right now, like who are the quarterbacks you know in college football, they could maybe name you 3.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could maybe
I don't know.
Mendoza, Moore. They Carson Beck because he's been around for a while, but
Ty Simpson, Drew Aller.
You can because that's what we do. Julian Sayin, right? I mean, names that we knew
Lenore Snellers
before they became the guy. Yeah, I mean, like I can name a bunch of names. You can name a bunch of names. But if you looked at the final 8 teams that are in the college football playoff right now, and you asked an average fan to tell you the names of every single one of these quarterbacks.
I don't even know if I could do it.
You got Carson Beck,
Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. No idea who Texas Tech's quarterback is.
I knew Murph was going to say that.
Carson Beck.
Idea. Yeah, Carson Beck.
Carson Beck. Shoot.
Come on, man.
Julian Sayers, Gunnar Stockton, and I have no idea who Ole Miss's quarterback is.
Julian Sayin, he was close.
Julian Sayin, close enough.
Gunnar Stockton, so
I have no idea who Ole Miss or Texas Tech's quarterbacks are.
So
no clue.
Right. So I mean, right, but that's a normal thing. It's really hard to find a good
because it's different. It's different every year. It's not like the NFL where like Josh Allen's been the Bills quarterback for 7 years. Mahomes been with the Chiefs for 8 years. Brady was with the Patriots for 20 years. Like it's not like that. It's not like you have the same quarterback for 8 years. Like you're lucky if you get a guy for 2 years, let alone 3 or more. So, when I am willing to bet money that wherever DJ Lagway goes, and I have a feeling it's going to be either Georgia or Miami or one of those. And it'll break my heart if he does. I'm willing to bet you he will have a great season next year, take his team to the playoff, and be a high draft pick because of it. Because from what I read, and obviously, I don't know, I wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
From what I read, DJ Lagway wanted to be there. He was very poorly coached this year. Billy Napier was the worst coach in college football. And I'm not saying that as a Gators fan. I am saying that, period. He was the worst coach in college football. So having DJ Lagway getting coached by that guy, you're probably not going to play all that well.
Tell us how you feel, Murph.
You're probably not going to play all that well in that offense.
Yeah.
So, he wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Clearly, Summerall didn't want him. That is the impression that I have gotten from what I've seen, what I've read. I could be wrong. If John Summerall wants to call me out and say I'm wrong, although he'll probably say in public they wanted him, but behind closed doors, we don't know. Right. It sounds like they didn't want him and basically pushed him out the door. And that kind of... Jaden Baugh didn't seem like that was the same situation. It seemed like he kind of just wanted to leave. But what did I say when Summerall got hired? You have one job.
It was the same thing that Papa Joe said.
And it is to not let DJ Lagway walk.
You and Papa Joe said the same thing. We cannot lose DJ Lagway. Which is interesting that you guys feel this way because it hasn't really translated onto the field.
It was poor. It was literally poor coaching.
Right, but that's the
We've
thing. We've
seen what this guy can do.
What is DJ Lagway going to be? And I'm hoping the best for him. But the question
he's
is,
going to be a first-round pick. Mark my words, he is going to be a first-round pick. I don't know where he's going.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hope he goes to Georgia and balls out and wins a national championship and goes number 1 overall next year. Although it'll probably be Arch Manning regardless.
Well,
because I think that would tell John Summerall, yeah, we shouldn't have let this guy walk. And to let him go to our rival,
well, that's the thing
not
now,
okay.
With the transfer
portal. He would get a lot of flack for that one. What quarterbacks are even going to be good in the transfer portal this year? Who is he even going to go get?
Well, we'll see. We'll see who wants to go when it opens January 2nd. By the way, after some of these games are over, maybe we see somebody jump from these teams that lose in the college football playoff. You never know.
Yeah, back up.
So Trinidad, the Ole Miss quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, and the Texas Tech quarterback, Baron Morton. So, Murph, you got to make your last pick so that I can make my pick for the bracket here, Georgia or Ole Miss.
It was a long-winded answer, but Georgia.
It was a long-winded answer.
I wanted to pick against them, but
it was a long-winded answer that had nothing to do with it, went to Florida, went so deep into the Gators. We were in the swamp, living with the Gators, and then somehow when you thought it couldn't happen, Murph swung it all the way back by going, I hope DJ Lagway becomes a Georgia Bulldog and wins a national championship.
At this point, I think it would be hysterical.
Georgia. You did.
I would hate it. I wouldn't hate him for it. It's one of those things where, I could very easily see that happening. So Kirby Smart is a very persuasive guy. And if Georgia gets DJ Lagway next year, because I think Gunnar Stockton is graduating, I think. Then mark my words, I would have Georgia as a favorite to win the national championship, as the favorite to win the national championship, regardless of what happens this year. Yeah, because I wouldn't be shocked if Jaden Baugh goes with him. We saw what Jaden Baugh did against Florida State.
Yeah. Gunnar Stockton,
nearly 300 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns or whatever he had. Yeah. And now this guy's leaving. How could you let that guy walk out the door?
Gunnar Stockton does have some more time.
He does have more time. Okay. So maybe he won't go to Georgia. Maybe he'll go to Alabama or he'll go to wherever he goes. It's gonna be it could be Alabama, it could be Miami. I ultimately think it would be one of Miami, Alabama, or Georgia. But I guess if Gunnar Stockton has more time at Georgia, that is if he decides to stay in school or if he decides to go into the draft, who knows? I mean, he's not going to be a first round pick if he goes in the draft, but whatever ends up happening there, we'll see ultimately from how things transpire in the transfer portal.
Yeah. So we'll see as things step forward here, and as we step forward, I'm going to be making my picks here. I promise not to talk about the Florida Gators for 14 minutes on the way to my pick. I'm kidding. No, I love it. I love it. Listen, Murph's passion for the Gators, it gives me some passion. It gives me some desire to be like, all right, you know what? Between him and Papa Joe, I can't help but watch the Gators and what's going on with them. So I give them a lot of respect for sure. So I definitely want to say that. So I think we got Murph here with us. Murph's hanging out with us where sports meets life. So we appreciate Murph for being with us. I don't know why he lost our audio there for a second, but he's with us. You heard our audio.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and give my picks. These are Murph's picks. We're going to clear the board and we're going to do it. So here are my picks for the college football playoff quarterfinals. Once again, we're just doing the quarters right now. So here are my picks for the college football playoff quarterfinals. You saw Murph, and so here we go with this.
Ohio State, Miami. Dan, who you got?
This is the one that I want to take the most time, and it's so hard. But
you could come back to it if you want.
No, I got to go in my gut. I think
I know where your gut's going. I really do.
I respect both of these teams, and if this one team wins that I'm not going to pick, I'm still going to sit in that room and I'm still going to respect that's the thing. I respect these coaches. I respect these players. It's all love. It's all positivity. That's what some people don't understand when you make a pick. That doesn't mean you don't respect the people here. You make a pick on what you're assessing and what you believe. But at least in my world, I love how spoiled I am to get to talk to these wonderful coaches and players. And I loved the run with Ohio State last year. I loved talking with Ryan Day. I loved speaking with the team. I really liked being around Ohio State. I love seeing their celebration. I love seeing them hoist the trophy. I thought it was a fantastic run. I thought the game against Texas was incredible. Jack Sawyer, and now he's a Steeler, and everything that they got to do. Will Howard is also a Steeler, which is kind of crazy. But seeing everything that Ohio State did last year was really, truly, absolutely amazing. But I
think I know where you're going.
I have a dark horse. And I had them since before it started.
Yep.
And if it's going to be a low-scoring game, which I think this may be, I trust their defense to pull it off. I see this being a lower-scoring game. I see this being a dogfight. And Ohio State likes those games. But so does Miami. And you didn't have to put a chip on Miami's shoulder. But you Notre Dame fans, you kind of helped them. And there's teams that are set up as teams of destiny sometimes. Just kind of feels like they're not done yet. So I trust that the Buckeyes are going to come. They're going to show out at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. But in the eye of a hurricane, the only ones at peace, Miami. I got Miami in this one.
I thought that's where you were going. I would not at all be surprised if they win this game.
I got Miami.
I really wouldn't.
I can't pick against. I can't be in that stadium and know that I didn't go where my head's been going here. So the next game, and I'll be at that game, Ohio State and Miami. So I will also be at the game right after, Oregon and Texas Tech, by the grace of God. So Oregon and Texas Tech, and pardon me here. So let me advance. I didn't advance on the bracket here so that you guys can see the bracket and what it is right now. So let me just make sure I advance these so that you'll see my picks here. So I got Miami moving forward. Texas Tech and Oregon, this is interesting. I got to talk to the Texas Tech coach. I really love that conversation. And I respect here. This is my weird thing with Oregon this year. I respect Oregon, and I like I like this Dante Moore era. I do. I don't think they've been challenged like some of the other teams, and I feel like I'm still waiting for them to have that big time win. But I like them. I really, it's like this place where I'm like, I feel like I haven't seen them go through the fire truly yet. But I think they'll have an opportunity because I got them winning. Next one up, Alabama and Indiana. This game is a pain in my side. Because if I picked quarterback, I'm picking Mendoza. If I picked a team historically, which you're supposed to just pick this season, I'd pick Alabama. Indiana's the number 1 seed, but they still kind of feel like an underdog in this game. I, again, think that there's teams of destiny, and I respect Alabama. But if it comes down to Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza, if Alabama has to come back in this game, I don't know if Mendoza is the guy you want to test that with. I got to go with Indiana. And my final game, these are all tough games for me. These are all difficult. The last one for me to pick, Georgia and Ole Miss, the rematch. I didn't know what Ole Miss was going to look like without Lane Kiffin. But I give him credit because Lane Kiffin's never had a college football playoff victory with Ole Miss. That went to their
That's true.
That went to their new head coach. So I do think Ole Miss is the Cinderella of the Final 8. Maybe a little bit of that is Texas Tech. But Georgia's Georgia. In Georgia, they've only lost to one team. And I don't think they're going to see that team for the rest of this thing. I like Ole Miss's story. I love that these kids are fighting. I love that they've endured. And I would love to see them win. And it's going to be heartbreaking. I'm not even an Ole Miss fan. It would be heartbreaking for me to see this team lose. It really would. And I don't want them to. I want them to write their story. I think everything that happened at Ole Miss is such a travesty of where we are in collegiate athletics. That this can't just be a good team versus a good team. It's got to be all the Lane Kiffin drama and all this crap and who's in the transfer portal and what coaches are leaving and talking about next year in the middle of this year and talking about next year before the Egg Bowl and 2 weeks before and when's he going to... Lane Kiffin's decision was more important than the dang game against Mississippi State. And I just don't like that stuff. I want Ole Miss to focus on what they've accomplished and what they can, not on all this crap that's part of the sport. That should be tampering, that should be fines, that should not happen. You should not be allowed to talk to a coach until the season's over. You're going to act like the NFL, but then not be the NFL. You say you're an amateur, but you kind of act pro, so you're living in this middle region, which really doesn't serve anybody well. And that's what I think has just messed with this season for Ole Miss, and I really don't like it. Because these kids didn't deserve that. So I want to pick Ole Miss. I do. But my job as an impartial broadcaster is to tell you who I really think is going to have those few moments that'll decide a game. and I say sick 'em. The Georgia Bulldogs moving on, giving us a rematch between Indiana and Oregon and a matchup between Miami and Georgia, which I'm calling the Carson Beck Bowl. This is what we have, folks. It all led me to this. I've been waiting to say Carson Beck Bowl for like 45 minutes on the show today. so
that'll be fun. I hope it happens. I really do.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So we shall see what we shall see, and we shall talk about that right after this fast break. As we go forward, we'll take a look at the NFL and what's going on there. Murph and I have made our picks. Our picks have been saved. Our picks will be shared. And inevitably, some fan bases will love us and other fan bases will lose their minds. But please understand and know this well. We respect you all. We hope the best for you all. And honestly, as a man who loves God, and by loving God, loves you all equally, I'd love to see you all make it. But that's not what happens. I think there's a story to be told of all of these teams, but not every team is going to make it. And it makes me sad that we can't see some of these stories continue that may be ending in the next few days. It's hard and it's emotional. And when you get to know the players and the coaches, I don't feel it the same way that other people feel it. I don't have to be a fan of Indiana to get teared up when Mendoza talks about family and God. I don't have to be a fan of Ole Miss to hurt for these kids and what they've been through when they should just be focusing on an amazing season. So,
well, Mendoza might shed some tears when he gets drafted by the Raiders. That's the last place he probably wants to go.
I'd be like, hey guys, could we not do that? So it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait for it. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. And when we come back inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, there'll be plenty more to come about the NFL right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us. There's the bracket. Let us know who you got too. We'll be back after this. Here's a message from Renee from Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily? Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. Canine Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. Canine Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to caninecampground.com as well. That's KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. Canine Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose Canine Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us inside of the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Make sure you get yourself out to Great Lakes Honda City today. You can also go to GreatLakesHondaCity.com at any time and get to see all of the wonderful inventory that they have. Get a little sneak peek. We're talking about the NFL playoff picture heading into Week 18. How does everything look in the NFL of this 2025-26 season? So Murph and I are here to talk with you about that. We appreciate you being here inside these Great Lakes Honda City studios. I want to remind everybody that we are so thankful that we get to talk with you up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. If you just saw Murph throwing something out while we were talking. That was all of his autographs of Billy Napier. So, it's that's just what he does now. It's just tossing it. He's getting rid of it.
Never had any,
He's
thank God.
cleansing. He's cleansing. Don't let Murph fool you. He paid about $450 for that one-of-one Billy Napier patch.
I did
patch
sell a Gators auto that I've had for a while at a pretty big loss yesterday. My Anthony Richardson numbered to 10 immaculate patch auto with the nasty patch from the bowl game a couple of years ago.
The one that I did the deal
No,
with.
no, the auto.
Okay. I was going to say, because the one that you have that's like almost the entire face of the Gator, I still think about that card fondly. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I sold that one over the weekend and ended up getting like $140 for it. I lost money on a DJ Lagway auto too, lost a good amount of money on that. So we'll see. I did get some bangers though over the weekend, but we could talk about that when you do your ornament break.
Yeah, so very excited about that. Looking forward to it. We're going to do it in just a few minutes. But before we go there, we're going to the NFL playoff picture. Let's paint the picture for you. For those of you that don't know, this is what the playoff picture looks like. And it's going to get weird in Week 18, which is cool. I like it.
Weird.
Let's get a little weird. So as it stands in the AFC, I'll go there first. The Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed currently. They win the tiebreaker over New England based on best win percentage in common games. Both teams are 13-3. If the Denver Broncos were to lose and the Patriots were to win, then this will flip. Right now, the Broncos have to go and play the Chargers at home in Colorado, where the New England Patriots, who just put it on the Jets, they will be playing the Dolphins, who just put it on the Bucks. So the Patriots will be at home against the Dolphins. The Broncos will be at home against the Chargers. Who's going to take care of home base will determine who the number 1 seed is going to be. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are the number 3 seed. If in a world the New England Patriots and the Broncos both were to lose and the Jaguars won and they're all 13-4, that would be interesting since the Jaguars beat the Broncos head-to-head 34-20 at Denver. So I'd have to look into, because there's no tiebreaker thing here between them and the Patriots right now as far as the reasoning about why teams are where they are. So that would be interesting. I'm going to look it up here to see if I could find it really quick. So Jaguars, Patriots, tiebreaker.
As it sits right now,
I want to know what the tiebreaker is.
Denver has the tiebreaker, it seems like, as it sits right now. But Jacksonville would then have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville would have the tiebreaker over Denver.
Right.
Which if they have the tiebreaker, if Jacksonville has the tiebreaker over Denver, I think by default they have the tiebreaker over New England. Actually, I don't know about that.
Yeah, so I'm looking at, so if the Patriots lose to Miami and the Jaguars beat the Titans, New England would fall to number 3, and Jacksonville owns the tiebreaker over the Patriots, better conference record. So there's that. So if the Broncos lost and the Patriots lost, the Jacksonville Jaguars can still get the number 1 seed. So this is how weird this is. Denver's the number 1 seed right now because they have one more win than Jacksonville. But Jacksonville beat them head-to-head. So if Jacksonville wins and Denver loses to the Chargers, Jacksonville will jump Denver. If New England wins, and they have 14, so if New England wins and Denver loses, New England is 1. But if Jacksonville, if New England wins and Denver loses and Jacksonville wins, it doesn't matter as far as their head-to-head with the Patriots because the Patriots will have 14. So New England wins, Denver loses, New England goes to number 1. If Jacksonville wins and they have the same record of 13-4 as Denver, they will jump Denver and go to 2. If Denver and New England lose and Jacksonville wins, Jacksonville will jump them both and go to 1. So that top 3 will not be decided until after the games are all settled here on as far as what happens in this thing. Pittsburgh is currently the 4 seed, but only has a record of 9-7. The Baltimore Ravens are behind a team that's been eliminated from the playoffs in the Indianapolis Colts, but they're not eliminated. This is a very weird standing where the team above the Ravens in the standings of the entire AFC is eliminated, but they are not. Baltimore is 8-8. The Steelers are 9-7. They played each other already this season. In that game, they lost to the Steelers 27-22. However, if they were to beat the Steelers on the road, they will jump the Steelers, be the 4 seed. Right now, they're number 9. They're not even in this thing. The top 7 are taken in the AFC and the NFC for the playoffs in the NFL. If the Ravens beat the Steelers, they will go from 2 out to the number 4 and have a home game. That's how crazy this is. If the Steelers win, they lock in the 4 seed. There's no way that they could go higher than 4. So whoever wins the AFC North gets the 4 seed. Whoever loses the AFC North is out of the playoffs. The Houston Texans have already wrapped up a spot in the 5 seed from the AFC South with the Jaguars. The Los Angeles Chargers in the same division as the Broncos, the AFC West, have locked in their place as the 6th seed. They cannot, or pardon me, they're a 6th seed right now. They cannot overtake Denver because Denver will have one more win than them. If Denver loses and Los Angeles Chargers win, they'll still have one more win than Los Angeles, so that's not going to do anything. Buffalo has locked in a playoff spot as well. But the Houston Texans, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Buffalo Bills all have the same record of 11-5, which means that 5 through 7 can also shift in the wild card. Houston is going to have to beat the Colts. That is their game.
Can you imagine a 12-5 team being the 7 seed?
Right, so that's where we're at right now. So if all 3 of these teams win,
that's insane.
There will be a 12-5 seed that will be a 7. And so as we look at this,
it would be the Bills.
The Chargers are playing the Broncos on the road. Houston Texans are playing the Colts at home, and the Buffalo Bills, who are currently the 7 seed, they are playing the Jets at home in Buffalo. So the way that this works, Houston wins the tiebreaker over Buffalo and the Chargers based on head-to-head sweep. The Chargers win the tiebreaker over Buffalo based on best win percentage in common games. So Buffalo will have to win and have Houston and the Chargers lose in order for them to pull off the 5 seed. But if all 3 of these teams win, they will all be 12-5, which means that there will be 6 of 7 teams in the AFC with at least 12 wins. But 3 of those teams will play on the road, and 1 of those teams will have a home game, either a 10-7 Steeler team or a 9-8 Ravens team will have a home game when 3 12-win teams will be playing on the road. And as it stands right now, Jacksonville will play the Chargers. The Patriots will play the Bills in the 3rd game that they'll have against each other this season. And the Steelers would play the Texans if it all remains the same. Before I go to the NFC, Murph, your thoughts on the fact that the top 3 is not determined, 5 through 7 is not determined, and whoever wins the AFC North will absolutely be the 4 seed. The other one will be knocked out of the entire playoffs.
Not surprising. Seeing what the AFC has been this year, the AFC's been so top heavy. I mean, your playoff picture is decided with the exception of the AFC North. So that's why that's the Sunday night game. People are complaining, oh, why is this the Sunday night game and not, Seattle and and not the Seattle game and well, if I pull it up here, because I think they're playing Seattle and 49ers. Sure, that could make a good Sunday night game, but it's for the 1 seed.
Right.
The other games to decide who gets in the playoffs.
Right, it's for the entire playoffs.
Niners, Seahawks are both in the playoffs. So that, you have one game for a division, on Saturday. There's no Thursday night game this week, so you have one game for the division on Saturday, one game for the one seed in the AFC in the NFC on Saturday, and then you get a bunch of meaningless games. The Jets are going to get blown out by the Bills. The Colts are going to get blown out by the Texans. Um, let's see. The Falcons could still theoretically win the NFC North or the NFC South, as crazy as that sounds, if they win tonight, which I kind of hope they do because that would mean Bijan and Kyle Pitts probably played well.
No, they're out of it. They can't win it. They're eliminated.
I just saw something earlier. It's that if they win out, the
If they go 7-9,
Panthers lose to the Bucks. If all three teams are 8-9, the Falcons win the division based on tiebreakers. That's I saw that on NFL Network.
The Falcons can't be 8-9. They can only be 7-9. Oh no! Wait, they play tonight.
Yes, they haven't played yet. Yeah, they play tonight.
Oh, then why
if
does
they
it
win
have them-
tonight? They're 7-9.
Then why is this thing having? Why are they eliminated on here?
I don't think they are.
So if they go 8, wait, let's think. If they go 8-9,
I could be wrong. This is just what NFL Network was saying.
yeah.
So maybe it is wrong.
I mean, I was looking at the Falcons too, thinking like this is like a really weird world where they're still alive in this, but they are within the field of elimination with the Vikings, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Saints, the Commanders, Cardinals.
Oh, maybe they are. Yeah.
So if they were to win, I don't think that they can, because this is how it works, and this is the crazy thing. So Carolina right now is there, but the fight for the division in Week 18 is going to decide this thing. They played each other twice in the last. They will play each other after this upcoming week. The Panthers will play the Bucks twice in the last 3 weeks of the season, and those are the amazing things that happen with sports, is they make these schedules ahead of time, and you never know how things are going to stack up. And then you have the Panthers and the Bucks fighting for the division late in the season, and they play 2 of 3 against each other to end the season. So Carolina right now has the 4th spot. Same thing as the NFC South is the same as the AFC North. Whoever wins between the Steelers and the Ravens will decide who wins the division and gets in the playoffs and gets a home game. The other team that loses that's playing for the division and a spot in the playoffs will be kicked out. It's the same thing in the NFC South. Whoever wins between Carolina and Tampa in Week 18 will determine the winner of the NFC South and the only representative of the NFC South in the postseason. Carolina is currently in 4. Tampa Bay is in 11th in the standings, which means that they are 4 out of the playoffs. They can go from 4 out behind the Vikings, the Lions, and the Cowboys, who are eliminated, and the final seed, which right now are the Packers. Tampa can go from 4 out, or they can go from 3 out to 4 seed and have a home game. So they're even farther down than Baltimore of getting in this
with
thing.
a losing record, mind you.
With a losing, yeah. So if the best Tampa can be is 8-9, the best Carolina can be is 9-8, and it will all be determined in Week 18.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be fun, that's for sure. You have a lot of teams. Man, New Orleans just rattled off 3 in a row.
Yeah.
What the heck, man?
Chris Olave has been doing good in fantasy. So if we look at the NFC, let's take a look at how the NFC is.
All I could say is I need Bijan, Puka, Kyle Pitts, and Jared Verse to play well, and Drake London to not play well. Or not play. He is listed as questionable right now. If he doesn't play, he gets no more points. Which, I don't wish for injuries for people, but he's already hurt. So, Drake, if you're listening to this, you're hurt. Falcons are out of it. Maybe just don't play, man. I'd be all right with that. I don't even think he has anybody to replace. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
If Drake London doesn't play, I just need to score 30 points.
Oh, well.
Which is not impossible with those 4.
No. And taking a look at the NFC and what stands to be here right now, this is how it works. And the NFC is not decided either. The Seattle Seahawks are the number 1 seed. They overtook it from the Los Angeles Rams, who had it within the last couple weeks. And there's a third team in that division that may still get it. The San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks, and Los Angeles Rams, all the way up until these last few weeks, and two of them still right now, are fighting for an opportunity to be the number one overall seed. The NFC West is by far the best division in the NFC, and arguably the best division in football, having 3 teams with at least 11 wins. The Seattle Seahawks, 13-3 with Sam Darnold, which just goes to show, with Aaron Rodgers looking to make the playoffs and Sam Darnold already having made the playoffs, that it is a Jets problem. So the Seattle Seahawks right now at 13-3 will play.
Really?
Well, I have to, Murph. It's the truth. And
I
so
know.
the
You know what I saw? I saw a really crazy stat. So Sam Darnold is now one of 5 quarterbacks ever to have back-to-back 13-win seasons. You know who the other 4 are? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold just joined that list. You understand how much I am going to be rooting for Seattle to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
If Sam, and clip this, post this, whatever. If the Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, I am buying a Seattle Seahawks Sam Darnold jersey. Granted, it's only going to cost me like $30, but I don't care. I will buy a Sam Darnold Seattle Seahawks jersey if they win the Super Bowl.
That's because
I might do it anyway.
That's because Murph gets the ones that fall off the crate that comes from China.
I get the ones from China that aren't actually real.
Because the reality of it all is
care.
a Sam Darnold jersey is going to only go up in price, but Murph gets the officially unofficial ones. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would probably get the neon green one, though. I know they don't really wear it anymore, but the neon green Seahawks jerseys were so sick.
Be the closest to the Jets color that Murph can
Exactly.
find. But
I have 3 Sam Darnold jerseys in my closet. 3.
Well, and that's the thing. You can go back and clip what I said at the beginning of the season. I said Aaron Rodgers will go to the playoffs as a Pittsburgh Steeler, further making
I didn't
Jets
disagree
wonder.
with you.
What'd you say?
I never disagree.
No.
How many times did I say last year that Aaron Rodgers was not the
No.
problem?
I'm saying I said Aaron Rodgers in his first season with the Steelers, mark my words, I believe they're a playoff team.
And I agreed with you.
And
I 100% agreed with you.
And the crazy
although
thing, I'm
they
not
did
saying-
not look good.
I'm
They
not saying-
did not look good without DK Metcalf.
I'm not saying you disagreed. I'm saying it would further the Jets fans going, what the hell? Like, why do these guys come here? We don't win. They leave and they go to the playoffs. And I just said, I was like, the Aaron Rodgers story will continue the conundrum of a Jets fan saying, why does this happen? Why did they leave? Who would have thought Sam Darnold was going to leave the Jets and become the owner of the number 1 seed if they win this week in the entire NFC? He's got the number 1 receiver in the entire country in Jackson Smith and Jigba. Got a wonderful 1-2 punch in the running back room. He's got multiple receivers. He's got Cooper Kupp now. But look at Seattle. Los Angeles, the Rams are willing to let go of Cooper Kupp. And Seattle made him pay. The Rams a couple weeks ago, they were the number 1 seed. Now it's Seattle's to lose. San Francisco isn't out of it. They're 12-4.
Well, the winner gets the 1 seed. That's
So
how
San
it's going
Francisco
to be.
and Seattle, it's going to decide 1 or 5. This is
That's true.
This is
That's true. The winner wins the division too.
This is the crazy.
It'd be like with the Minnesota game last year.
Yeah,
Minnesota and Detroit.
This is a crazy, crazy thing. The NFC, whoever wins Seattle versus San Francisco, decides the winner of the NFC West, and it decides the number 1 seed in the entire NFC. It is the difference between sitting out the wild card round and having home field advantage throughout the playoffs versus playing the wild card and playing on the road. And get this, whoever wins that game between Seattle and San Fran gets the number 1 seed. The loser will go on the road to play either a 9-8 Carolina Panthers team or an 8-9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Think about that. Chicago is 11-5. Philly is 11-5. Chicago wins the tiebreaker on head-to-head win percentage. So if Chicago, and this is Chicago's game, Chicago will have to play in their final game the Lions, who are out of the playoffs and have just plummeted downward this season, unfortunately for Lions fans.
Well, they've kind of been dealing with some injuries and they've been struggling over the last 5 to 6 weeks. And it's a shame. That's a team that you expected to make the playoffs, but they've been dealing with some injuries. I mean, then again, so have the Packers.
Right.
And Malik Willis balled out on Sunday.
And speaking of a team
or Saturday. When did they play? Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday.
Speaking of a team that's been dealing with injuries that many would have thought, myself included, they would be a playoff caliber team. My early, like right after the draft prediction was that this team could be a Super Bowl caliber team. But they dealt with injuries, and they dealt with them throughout the year to their number one receiver and their number one quarterback, that who I'm speaking of, are the Washington Commanders. They will have Philadelphia. Philly will be playing that game at home. So if Philly is able to beat Washington, which you imagine they will, and Chicago is able to beat the Lions with that game being at home as well. By the way, all these teams that are fighting for something, they're pretty much all playing at home except for like a couple of them.
Yeah.
But Chicago, so I'm sure that they want to thank the NFL for this scheduling. But Chicago, if Chicago wins, they're the 2 seed. If Chicago loses and Philly wins, Philly's the 2 seed. If Chicago wins and Philly wins, they stay the 2 seed. If they both lose, then Chicago stays the 2 seed. So Chicago wins, they lock up the 2. They cannot be the 1. Philly needs to win and hope that Chicago loses. Carolina or Tampa is the 4 seed no matter what. Same scenario as Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Whoever wins the division, wins the 4 seed. Whoever loses gets knocked out of the playoffs. San Francisco is 12-4. The Rams are 11-4. If the Rams were to win and be 12-4, and let me look at this again. No, because the Rams, wait a minute. The Rams are playing tonight against Atlanta. So the Rams are going to decide a lot of things here. They're on the road at the Falcons. If the Rams are to win and the Rams are 12-4, then they'll be 12-4. San Fran will be 12-4. Then the Rams can overtake San Fran. If Seattle beats San Fran would not only not get the number 1 seed, but they will also fall from 5 to 6. And the Rams will overtake them if the Rams end up ending the season at 13. Yeah.
A 12-win team being the 6th
seed. Yeah. So
I think this just goes to show how bad the NFL was this year. Look at how the amount of teams with less than 4 wins, or with 4 wins or less,
or it shows how good they are,
is honestly bizarre. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with 4 wins or less. When's the last time that happened?
Well, think about this. Let's go to the AFC. The AFC this year.
Woof.
No matter what. Miami, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Cleveland, Tennessee, the Jets, and the Raiders will all finish with a losing record no matter what. Baltimore and Indy may join that group, which means that everyone that doesn't make the playoffs in the AFC may have a losing record. Of the 16 teams in the AFC, 7 of them that get into the playoffs, if the Ravens are to lose to the Steelers and the Colts are to lose their final game of the season, which is on the road at the Texans, that means that every team that doesn't make the playoffs in the AFC would have a losing record, 9 of 16. In the NFC, if the Vikings are to lose and the Lions are to lose, they would have losing records. But no matter what, the Cowboys, the Bucks, who would make the playoffs with a losing record, they'd be the only team to do so. So if the Cowboys, so the Cowboys, no matter what, the Bucks, no matter what, the Falcons, the Saints, the Commanders, the Cardinals, and the Giants will all have a losing record no matter what happens in Week 18. The Lions and the Vikings may join them, which means, Murph, I don't know if this has ever happened in NFL history. There is a chance that the 7 teams that advance from the AFC and the NFC into the postseason will be the only teams with winning records. That means the teams eliminated from the playoffs in the AFC and NFC are not eliminated with winning records. They would all have losing records. There is a chance, and I don't know if this statistic has ever happened. This could be a great trivia question. If this were to happen, 25-26 season in the NFL may be the only season that I recall in NFL history, and I'd have to do some research, that every team that makes the playoffs has a winning record and every team that misses the playoffs has a losing record. And no team that misses the playoffs has a winning record.
Yeah.
That's
It's
insane.
I mean, regardless, the loser of the NFC South is going to have a losing record. So whether it's the Bucks at 7-10 or the Panthers at 8-9, either way, we're going to have a loser.
Yeah.
Being under 500. Like, this is probably one of the most anticlimactic. This is the most anticlimactic wild card race I've ever seen in all my years of watching the NFL.
But
you basically have two games for divisions, and that's it.
But
so
think about that. The teams that are eliminated, most of
all
them,
under 500.
Most of them, if not all of them, will not have a 500 or better record.
Yeah, you don't see that often. But that's going to be why you have so many teams with 11, 12, 13 wins. That's just kind of the way it is.
So, I mean, think about that. That means that if that were to happen, which very well could happen this final week of the NFL going into Week 18, that means that there will be more teams with losing records than teams with winning records in the NFC and in the AFC. That means that
in the entire NFL.
That means 18 of the 32 NFL franchises would have a losing record and only 14 would have winning records.
Yeah. How crazy is that? I honestly kind of hope that happens, to be honest. It's the chaos scenario we got in college football. I would love to see it in the NFL. But yeah, like Seattle Seahawks, I am putting all my eggs in your basket. I am rooting hard for you. I will probably be wearing a Sam Darnold jersey on Saturday at the show that I will be at in Lehighton. So I'm looking for. I'll probably wear one of mine just for the sake of wearing it, because I'll be rooting for you, Seattle. I'll probably wear it throughout the playoffs as long as they're still winning. But you know, it's gonna be a really fun final week of the regular season. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, and you know, when the Jets lose and ultimately end up picking what I assume is going to probably be third, and maybe not, and you know, maybe getting Dante Moore as their next quarterback. I don't know what the heck's going to happen there, but we'll see. You know, I'll have to stock up on some of his cards if I do that, or if that happens.
Sam Darnold cards probably jacked up in price on eBay right now. So once again for the NFC,
I can actually attest to that one. I bought and sold a couple Sam Darnold cards in the last 2 weeks, and they have been massively inflated. I made money on them, so I'm not complaining. But
who would have thunk that was going to happen to make that prediction? In the NFC, one more time, Seattle wins. They're the number 1 seed. They win the NFC West. Seattle loses to San Fran. San Fran jumps from 5-1, goes from playing on the road to being at home, not playing in the wild card round, and having home field advantage. Everything on the line in the NFC West and in the NFC as a whole between Seattle and San Fran. Crazy thing about San Fran, chaos scenario for them. They lose to Seattle. Los Angeles wins their next 2 games. San Fran ends at 12-5. Los Angeles goes to 13-4. Los Angeles will jump San Fran. So San Fran could go from 2 to 1 or 3 in the NFC West. And whoever in that NFC West is the second seed, or pardon me, whoever is the second seed in the NFC West will go on the road to play Carolina or Tampa, which is wild. The Green Bay Packers are stuck at 7 at 9-6-1. If Chicago wins, there will be a third game played between Chicago and Green Bay this season. If Philly wins and Chicago loses, then Green Bay will go to Philly. And there's a chance that the Eagles at 12-5 will be hosting an NFC West team who's also 12-5. Same record, but Philly gets the home game. That's the craziness that's going on in the NFL. We're going to take our final step aside, come back, and we are going to do an ornament box break for the first time ever. GG Cards and Breaks. This was given to me as my Christmas and Hanukkah gift because Josh celebrates Hanukkah. 2025 Topps exclusive holiday lights parallel. We have the Major League Baseball holiday edition. Looks like an ornament. You got to spin it to open it. It's got a little candy cane top, and I've never opened one of these before. We will make history after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Go and see them Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. They will be closed until Friday of this week as they do end-of-year inventory. So GG Cards and Breaks will open for you this Friday, January 2nd, their first opening of the new year in 2026. So they'll see you at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. The perfect place to go to be a big kid all the time for all different sports cards and trading cards. Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, One Piece, and more, as well as hockey, soccer, wrestling, baseball, basketball, football. You'll find it all at GG Cards and Breaks. Big time thanks to Chick-fil-A, Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard, Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, the giant brick building right there for you on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard, double drive-through. You can order on the app. You can go inside to their big old dining room as well as go to the double drive-through. Go and get the peppermint chip shake. It's available for a limited time only, and you do not want to miss out on your opportunity to go and grab one today at Chick-fil-A DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I have my supplies from, because not only do GG Cards and Breaks have cards, singles, packs, boxes, and graded cards, but they also have all the supplies you need to protect your cards. And so I have my sleeves from GG Cards and Breaks, and I have my top loaders from GG Cards and Breaks. So it's time for me to jump into it. This is the first time I've ever done an ornament break, the Topps Holiday Edition for Baseball 2025. We're going to open this ornament in this very unique box break. And as you see, when you open the ornament, there's a plastic bottom here. The cards are protected by cardboard.
How many packs do they give you?
And so they don't give you packs. They just give you a bunch of cards.
Oh, it's
that
just
are
a
within
box
this.
of cards.
Yeah, so you get a bunch of cards
okay.
that are within this. And so you go ahead and you open it up here. And we'll see what
We're
we
looking
got.
for Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge,
Yeah.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Let's see what we got here. So, and so there's
all
some
the
good,
fun guys.
There's some good stuff decorated in the center here. Some shiny stuff. So we have Josh Young here. It's a
from your favorite team.
The Rangers. And then we have let's see what we got here. Matt Chapman. So really cool holiday edition. You can see that there's like tinsel all around it. So it's really cool. The holiday edition cards are unique as opposed to looking like the base card. So every card, even the base cards of the holiday edition, still are different. Luis Robert Jr.
Yeah, so like last year's, where is it? Last year's looked something like this. So they were a little bit different. This is like, you're going to have some, some short prints in there too.
Yeah. So
with hidden stuff that's in there too. You'll see some short prints.
This is weird. I'm within my first few cards and I have Josh Young again. So that's funny. So I have Angel Martinez, his rookie card. We have Jose Altuve. We have Darren Baker's rookie card.
Oh, Dusty's kid.
So we have him. We have the holiday Shohei pitching.
Nice. That's a couple bucks.
Yeah, so it's nice because, there's a lot of Shohei hitting cards, but that's a pitching one. We have Michael Harris II. We have Christian Yelich. We have a Matt Shaw rookie card in this 2025 Holiday Edition ornament break. We have Chase Dolander.
Nice.
Which is a rookie. We have Ronald Acuna Jr. We have a Bryce Harper. We have a Garrett Crochet. We have Jackson Merrill. I just like that. I like that San Diego thing. And this has you could see here, right where it's...
Oh, the rookie cup.
Yeah, you got the cup there. So I also like that jersey. Then you have Sean Burke's rookie card of the pitcher for the White Sox. Tyler Locklier's rookie card. We have Steve Kwan, Shane McClanahan, Christian Walker, James Woods rookie card.
That's a good one.
For the holiday edition with all that tinsel. Connor Norby's rookie card. Max Fried with the Yankees. Oh, I got something cool. Edgar Cuero. So I'm not gonna look at what they are. I didn't see them. I know that it's a die cut, but I did not see who it was. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it here. So Sasaki's rookie card.
That's a good one.
For the holiday. Shohei batting. So I have a Shohei.
Okay, you got pitching. Two of them now.
I got Shohei batting and Shohei pitching in this ornament box.
Are those chrome or are those more foil?
These are more foil. Then I have Mookie Betts, Ozzie Albies, Rhett Lauder. So we got his.
He's a good one.
Got his rookie.
One of the best baseball games I ever watched was the Wake Forest LSU Game 3 College World Series semifinal. Rhett Lauder versus Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
Absolute pitcher's duel.
Lauder. Every time I see it. Trey Sweeney's rookie card. Motor City. That's cool. We have Anthony Santander. We have Adley Rushman. We have Skeens with the cup here.
Nice.
We have Brett Rooker. We have Ben Rice's rookie card for the holiday edition. We have Taylor Ward. I've kept my streak going of getting a Diamondback in every pack and or box. Corbin Carroll.
Nice.
This is a cool card because it's got his running the base mitt. Then we
I would keep that one.
Yeah, Carlos Correa. I will. We
It's a
have
cheapie, so just keep that one.
Suzuki, Hayden, one of my favorite names, Birdsong rookie card.
Yeah.
We have Emmanuel Clase, Junior Caminero.
Manuel Clase.
Oh, Clase, yeah.
Yeah, he will probably never be pitching in Major League Baseball again.
Jack Flaherty. Then we have...
He's one of the two guys from the Guardians that's involved in that gambling scandal.
Yeah, there you go. So then we have Aurelvis Martinez rookie card. Framber Valdez, CJ Abrams, Freddie Freeman, Kerry Carpenter, Freddie Peralta. Yeah. Oh, this is a rookie too. This is an ornament from this ornament box break. This is literally a die cut refractor that has the hole to hang it like an ornament. Rookie card of Dylan Cruz.
Oh, that's a cool one. Get that bad boy put up in a sleeve and a top loader. That's a cool card.
That's absolutely going in. I'm going to put it over here. So then we got the special inserts here. We got Yordan Alvarez. Oh, and speak of the party here, we have another insert rookie card special of Dylan Cruz.
Nice.
With the Christmas lights. We have Nick York. We have Spencer Schwellenbach. This is his rookie card of a special insert.
Good on you for getting that one right. That's a tough name. I don't know if you know much about him, but he's a stud. But he also just had Tommy John, so.
Yeah. And then we have the insert refractors of Hunter Green, Giancarlo Stanton, and then we have a base of Alec Bregman, but all of these cards obviously look unique because they're the holiday. So we got the Dylan Cruz thing here, and we got the die cut ornament rookie card refractor of Dylan Cruz, plus a bunch of these great rookies. Plus I kept my Diamondback streak going, and we got a Cruz and Schwellenbach. We got their rookie inserts as well. So by far the best one of this is in this ornament box break to get the
so cool.
ornament of Dylan Cruz, which I'm very excited to sleeve and get in a top loader here. So let me protect this bad boy right now. Get him in here. There we go. Keep it safe. And I'm going to go ahead and get this in a top loader.
Damn it.
So there you go with my best card by far in this. To get any of these ornaments, but to have it to be Dylan Cruz. There you go.
That's a good one. I mean, the only other ones I would have said maybe you want of the rookies would have been maybe James Wood or Roki Sasaki.
Yeah.
But Dylan Cruz is a good one too.
And definitely having, I would say this to you folks, and I'm going to bring them together so you could see them together. I've never been able to have these ever opened. I don't think I've ever had a Shohei Ohtani pitching card. So to have these two in the same box break, Shohei hitting and pitching, just goes.
You should have no problem getting $5 a piece at least for those things.
Yeah, just to show you that this man is a one of one. And here are my pitching and hitting Shohei Ohtani's, both on the Dodgers. So some good stuff there. These will be, this stack is going to be sleeved, and a bunch of these will be top loaded as well with my James Wood and Dylan Cruz and all those. So we're going to take care of those. But this has been a holiday box break. I'm calling it, instead of a box break, an ornament break here.
Yeah, you have to.
And this is given to me by, and if there's any left, go and get them this Friday starting back up at GG Cards and Breaks. But the 2025 Topps Holiday Edition here of Major League Baseball. 59 total cards in this ornament. Really, really cool. Very unique. First thing I opened on Christmas Day from my mom's house, given to me by Josh Gideon. So get over to GG Cards and Breaks. This has been another box break, proudly presented exclusively by the only place that I will say all these wonderful things about here in Central and Upstate New York. That is GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. So make sure you get out there today. Any final words, Murph?
I kind of want to show a couple of cards if I can, if we have a couple of minutes. I'll run through them quick. It's a decent size stack, but I got some. I've been buying a lot more quality over quantity, so I don't have as many cards, but I got some really, really good ones. This is a Topps Triple Threads rookie patch auto of the World Series MVP himself, Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Okay. I'm going to brighten. Wait, show that again.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know why it's.
I always brighten your screen so we can see it. So go ahead and show it.
I don't know if this helps at all.
I just brightened it up, so that's better.
Okay. Yeah, so that's Yamamoto. We got an immaculate RPA of Jalen Hurts, which I'm surprised did not move on Sunday in Philly, but that's okay.
How much is that one going for, out of curiosity?
The better patches are about $750. That's the sticker I put on it.
Okay.
This is just a napkin patch, but I got it for about $600, so I think I'm gonna do okay on it.
Yeah.
We got a checkerboard Drake May.
Oh, that's cool.
Bought and sold a bunch of him this weekend. You'll like this one. This is a Panini Studio. Really clean too. This could potentially grade well. Rookie of Steph Curry, the greatest 3-point shooter to ever do it.
Yeah.
I think it's the first Curry rookie I've ever had.
This is also the one I got. I opened from a.
You still have that one, or
I sold
did you sell that one?
I sold it. I actually sold it in Philly.
Oh, that's right, at Fishtown.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that one in January. I just can't. I can't get there, so I'm not gonna be able to go to it. Then when this card came up to the table on Saturday, I was surprised that it was as cheap as it is. First time I've had an auto of him as well. It is a rookie auto from 2016 Donruss. Nikola Jokic.
Nice.
I was pleasantly surprised that was only a little over $1,000.
Love when Murph
I was expecting that to be close to $2,000.
Yeah, love when Murph buys basketball. It's always great.
Yeah, I bought a decent amount of basketball this weekend. I also bought a lot of baseball this weekend. We got a 2025 Bowman Chrome Relic Auto with the white piping on the Reds jersey, number /10 of Ellie De La Cruz.
Nice. Oh, cool.
An on-card auto and everything. That is sweet.
I like Ellie.
We talked about Shohei pitching. Here is a 2018 Topps Chrome pitching Shohei Ohtani rookie.
Very nice.
Have not looked at this as far as whether or not it could be graded. Maybe I'll look at that one later. I've owned this card before, but I got it back in a deal for my Mike Trout patch auto. Topps Gold Label, or Topps, framed auto from Topps Gold Label, Bryce Harper, number /10. This is one of the coolest cards I bought this weekend. This is from 2023 Flawless, so there's no logos on it or anything, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It is a flawlessly framed auto of the guy that goes by one and only name, Ichiro.
Oh, that's cool. How much is that? Is there autograph? I don't know if his autographs are they that expensive?
This one, we guesstimated it was somewhere between $250 and $300. We're 100% sure. Okay. Then we have another card that I've owned in the past. Not this exact one, but I have owned this in the past. It is a first Bowman Auto Chrome of Paul Skeens.
Skeens! How much is his autos now?
About that particular card's about $700. I bought and sold a couple of his stuff this weekend. This is a card I've wanted for a while. I never actually had a chance to get one, but I got one. I might have overpaid a little bit for it. Okay. I think I'll still do okay on it. It is the 2023 Young Guns Connor Bedard.
Hockey, all right.
And then we got a card you'll like. This is from it's an Arena Club slab. I don't think those are really worth much. It is a Zenith rookie patch auto of your boy, Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I got my Trevor right off camera here. Love it.
There you go.
Love
Then
it.
we
Love
have
Trevor.
a 2023 Bowman Chrome Relic auto, number to 25. Really nice patch. PSA 10. It's Pop 1 of Juan Soto in his Padres uniform.
Oh, nice.
And then these last two cards I got in a big trade deal. I'll start with the cheaper one first. This is a Topps Now on-card auto. It was signed in person. I've never owned an auto of this guy before, so it's cool to have one. It's just an authentic. The auto grade is a 10. It's not actually great. The card itself isn't actually graded. It is from his Hall of Fame induction of Mr. Derek Sanderson Jeter.
What's up, Derek Jeter? Jeter.
And the other card I got in this deal, as you guys know, I owned a big auto of this guy and sold it at the Philly show. I had another one walk up to me, and I could not pass it up. This is from 2005 SPX, a rookie jersey auto, number to 499, in a PSA 8 auto 10 of the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL, Mr. Alexander Ovechkin.
Oh, nice. You've been buying those hockey ones up, those big ones.
It's hard to say no when such good cards just come up to you. It's like, I don't even care that it's hockey. Like, I'm going to buy it anyway. Like, it's Ovi. Like, I almost bought a Gretzky rookie at the National.
Yeah, I think there's certain ones like Gretzky could get me.
Gretzky, Ovi, Crosby. I almost bought a McDavid auto.
Gretzky or any of my Ducks in the 2007 Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Any of those.
But I gotta try to plan a trip up to you in the next couple of weeks before I start to get busy here in February. Would January be a Wildcat trade night month, or would that be a different month?
No, I think January is I think we're working on January right now.
For Wildcat or for somewhere else?
Wildcat.
Okay. As long as it is not, hang on. As long as it's not MLK weekend, actually I could still theoretically make that one work.
Sasaki.
As long as it's not MLK weekend, I can probably be there. Because I was thinking of coming up, because I wanted to try and coincide with a trade night, because I haven't gotten to go to the one at the Wildcat yet. Because I think I've met a lot of great people up there, and I think I can buy a lot of stuff up there. Buy and sell, but buy a lot of stuff up there. As long as it's not MLK weekend, I should be able to go, even if it's the last week of January, because it would be on a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably head home Friday morning. Like, I'd probably do the show from here, maybe drive up, maybe like Wednesday morning or something like that. We'll hang out Wednesday and Thursday, have trade night Thursday, and head home. I gotta head home on Friday, or something like that. But hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about that, and
yeah,
in the not too distant future. So next Wildcat trade night, folks, I might be there. I might be making an appearance.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what's coming up with that and see how that will materialize as we await that. And of course, once they know, then you will know from us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as we are proudly partnered with GG Cards and Breaks. But again, here is the best of the lots that came in that holiday ornament box break. Once again, we have Sasaki's rookie in the holiday. We have James Woods rookie in the holiday. We have Shohei as a pitcher and a hitter for the Dodgers. And we have the Cruz party. We have the special insert rookie of Dylan Cruz. And we have the very special insert of his ornament refractor rookie card.
Yep.
With the actual hole in the top that you could hang it like an ornament. So there we go. Murph's got a lot of great stuff he shared with us. This has been Sports Card Show and Tell, proudly presented by GG Cards and Breaks. Have a wonderful final week of 2025 as we head into 2026. I got some great stuff set up for you this Tuesday and Wednesday for the final 2 days of 2025. We will be having a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to bring you not one but two specials. I want to let everybody know these very quick. They're set and ready to go for you. And so tomorrow, I will have a very, very deep, multi-layered conversation about the Navy midshipmen, the Naval Academy, the military academies in general, NIL, the transfer portal, the American Conference, back-to-back 10-win seasons at least, could be 11 wins this year, and back-to-back wins in the Army-Navy game, sitting down with my friend and fantastic human being and coach, Navy midshipman head football coach Brian Newberry, will air this Tuesday, December 30th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. And then here's a story that you do not want to miss on faith, adversity, and choosing to believe. The story of David Rivas, which will probably make you cry. This is an incredible story. This is a story that I think could be made into a movie, and maybe someday will. And I'm happy to share it. You do not want to miss the story of Brian and Stratton, new commit and signee for their men's soccer program here in Syracuse. The story of David Rivas, which is a very emotional and wonderful tale of faith, believing in oneself, going from being homeless to now having the opportunity to play on a team that vies for national championships. A story that goes back and has roots in El Salvador, that comes to Baltimore, Maryland, that goes out to Colorado, Texas, Oregon, and now to Central and Upstate New York in Syracuse. The story of David Rivas will air exclusively this Wednesday, December 31st, on the final day of 2025 at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So, with that being said, Murph, much love, much appreciation. A happy early New Year to you. And as always, I send you love and your family, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Yes, sir. I hope you guys all enjoyed your Christmas and your holiday season. I hope you all have a happy, healthy, and safe new year. We will see you in 2026.
Coming from Murph here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here on the broadcast. Like I said, two awesome specials coming up for you this week. Do not miss them. On December 30th, Brian Newberry, the head coach of the Navy midshipmen, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and Wednesday, December 31st at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, a story of faith, adversity, and choosing to believe with David Rivas. Brian and Stratton, Syracuse men's soccer signee incoming for the 2026 season. Thanks for being with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and of course on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. We're also on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. Find us by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Make sure to follow, subscribe, and download. Big time thanks to our wonderful team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes, Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Myers Creek, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Campground, Dog Boarding, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Mother's Cupboard, Game Point Sports Complex, Chick-fil-A and DeWitt, Pizza Man, Canine Camp, Dog Daycare, Brian's Landing, Avicoli's, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Onondaga Community College Lasers, Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats, and Binghamton University Bearcats. Find the Lasers every other Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time bi-monthly on Wake Up Call with student athletes, coaches, and administration. You'll find the Bobcats every single month with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni in our Bobcat Buzz. And you'll find the Binghamton University Bearcats every Tuesday, weekly at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni Tuesdays at 10 a.m. You'll find all of our content with the Lasers, the Bobcats, and the Bearcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find our OCC playlist for the Lasers, our BSC Syracuse playlist for the Bobcats, and our Binghamton playlist for the Bearcats. They're also all on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, which has been reimagined and is ready for you to check it out on wakeupcalldt.com. You'll find all of these wonderful schools. You'll also find them underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information on the lasers, go to onondaga.lasers.com. On the Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And on the Bearcats, go to binghamtonbearcats.com. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, God bless, no stress, do your best. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. I love you all. God loves you. Have a wonderful day. God bless, no stress, do your best. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I am Dan Tortora. You are amazing, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.